Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have made it back safely in one piece. It was just a few short hours ago. My hair wasn't done, and I was out in the stomping grounds of a community that put me over the magic 1,000 subscriber milestone. And it was great to be back home. It was great to be back in Brooklyn, in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. But now we're really home. We're really home on the platform where all wrestling matters, the platform that you've built and a platform that this man has helped build, as he has been at the forefront of everything related to the backyard wrestling circuit for going on 26 years. He even outdates the GYW, which we talked quite a bit about last night on Sportswire Radio with the legendary Sick Rick. But now we're going to talk about his side of the story and his memorable matches, especially with those wars with Phoenix and who knows whatever else we'll talk about with that. Plus, we are certainly going to get into what's going on in ROEW. I mean, what about that CJ Black post? What about Omen Black and Holden Holloway? And JX is back, and he was back from jail. And what happened between Matthew Forsaken and C Money? We're going to get into that. Plus, our guest, maybe we'll get more of his reactions when it comes to, well, Big Man Cam is ROEW champion so far. So there is a lot to talk about. That's why we're going to get into things right now in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, as I stated, the platform that this man helped build in his 130,000 plus followers. He is on his way to 140,000, 150,000, and so on and so on and so on. And now let's give him that introduction that he helped and he deserves to get, where all wrestling matters on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it. So with that, wait for it. Further ado, here on the Sports Report. Number one, Cable Sports Show, one of the all-time greats in backyard wrestling history, a man who has more followers than WWE superstars, a man that Stone Cold should have passed the torch to rather than Kevin Owens. He is one of the greatest to have ever stepped foot in the backyard wrestling circuit, as I spoke about, the greatest owner in backyard wrestling history. He's the host of the Nemesis Sessions. His name is, simply put, ROEW owner my friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. How you doing?
I was watching you, almost waiting for you to do the introduction. Said you had almost, was it the television remote there? You were basically mimicking. I was like, James, you should maybe do the intro instead.
I'm practicing. You're an inspiration. I don't know if
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You do, after all, have 130,000 plus followers. So I would certainly say, it's a lot of followers. I mean,
that's just followers. That's just a number.
Do you ever count? Do you ever count them one by one?
No, not until I hit 1 million. Then I might.
Why not?
I might do a 1 million subscriber special. Now that you talk about it, Tom, and if I hit 1 million subscribers, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna make a video where I just name off every single subscriber in one video.
Well, you got 130,000 already, so why don't you get to 1 million? You never know. I mean, you get 130,000. I mean, 90 on TikTok, right? We're 90 and change on TikTok, 40,000 on YouTube. I mean, Instagram, we're over 1,000. So, I mean, why not? I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. It would be interesting if I did a live stream where I'm doing that. That might get people like, "Hey, we're going to start subscribing." Now I'm about to say your names when I get to them. But hey, it is what it is. So
Well,
it's
I would
all
be
fun.
wondering, do you think you would say the names of BYW's Jason Storm and CJ Black if you got to a million? Now, would you say those names?
I would say them, but that it would probably be censored on my channel as if it was a really bad word.
So you would say it, but it would be most with a catch, though, more or less.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those sons of
Well,
bitches.
maybe just not say their names.
I might not.
But obviously we'll get to the good guy in a little while because he had rather an I guess ominous post. I'll certainly get your perspective on that in a little while, but let's talk about ROEW first. Obviously, a lot to get to. Want to go down memory lane with you, watch some matches, talk about maybe some different things about the GBYWN and kind of your reactions to that, and also again go back into where you had the blonde hair. I mean, you should go back. You should before anything. Maybe have you considered dyeing the hair back to blonde?
My wife's actually been wanting me to do that, and I just like I don't know. I don't know. I've never
Well, what do you
dyed my
mean?
hair.
If your wife's saying it, I mean, shouldn't you then consider it?
Maybe.
All right. Well, obviously, we'll say hello to her and thank you for her support. But let's talk ROEW for a second. Obviously, a couple of things. We had a special face-off show on Saturday. I'll put some of that up. But first of all, I mean, boy, Owen Black, a man that you know very well, James Taylor, a man that you have quite a history with. Some would even say you discovered Owen Black. You certainly discovered him, some would say. And he had a match with Holden Holloway, who has been seen in some other promotions in the Midwest. And let's just say that they had a match that, well, it wasn't full of Heinz ketchup, but real blood. And maybe it was the bloodiest match in ROEW history. And I'll start there. And for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, ROEW owner James Taylor, what was your reactions on the Omen Black and Holden Holloway match?
Well, they brought a taste of their death match destruction to ROEW and inside my ring. And it was a spectacle nonetheless. I love to see. I love to see the carnage and the brutality. They brought it, and they brought it to ROEW. And what better place to see it than ROEW? These two men put it all out there. And to see Mr. Omen Black just beat the crap out of Mr. Holloway and make him bleed like a stuffed pig was quite entertaining to me.
What was your impression seeing Holden Holloway for the first time?
Good guy. I've never seen his actual work before. I didn't know who he was or what he was about. I'm like, either Omen Black is going to completely crush and squash this guy, or hell, he might pull an ace out of his sleeve, which he did, and surprise me. And that's exactly what happened. And that's the type of excitement we got. You can see the physicality between these two big bastards is mainly Elman Black, but Mr. Holloway definitely did not
But
hold
you
back.
know Omen Black. You've seen him hundreds of times on this platform and your own. So,
Yeah,
I mean, you know Omen Black.
I have. I've seen him. I've never seen him in person, however. But as far as like knowing him over the past like almost
2 years.
2 years, yeah,
Yeah.
I know what he's about. I know what he could do. I've seen it. It's just I didn't know anything about his opponent here. So
We've been seeing some newer faces in ROEW recently. Felix Jones, another man you probably know a bit, who's celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Felix Jones. And we've seen some different people come in. Obviously, the DKW guys, Darkron and Matthew Forsaken. Shout out to Darkron. And what's that been like, you think, in this kind of infusion for ROEW, getting in these newer talents? Holden Holloway, we're seeing here on the screen. We've talked about Felix Jones. He wrestled a hell of a match with CJ Black and the DKW guys and what they've brought to the table. And what do you think that's done in these newer talents coming into ROEW to help the company?
I mean, it's all written out on the table. I mean, ever since, let's go back to me, and not to blow smoke up my own ass, but I mean, literally think about it. When ever since I came to ROEW and I took ownership, I've given opportunities to these talents that are around this area, around that area mostly. And look at what we get. We get these new faces. We get guys like Justin Parsley. We got guys like Aaron Blaze. We got Mr. Anthony Holloway. We get just
That's
whatever his
that.
name
Well,
is.
Holden, but I know what
Holden,
you were trying
Holden.
to
I'm
say.
sorry. I'm thinking of something else. But Mr. Holden, he looks like a midget version of him. But here he comes. We get Omen Black. We get Soldier GP. We're getting all these guys come in here because they see that our product of ROEW is the best that you can be. You're at the
Right.
big time when you step into my ring. When you step into the ROEW arena for the first time, I mean, you're thinking this is probably just some rinky-dink garage. This is just a ring with ropes around it. But when you get in there, all the spotlight is on you, and you've got all these eyes from all over the world watching you. I mean, look, you know it better than anybody, Tom. There's guys over in Australia. There's guys in the UK
Yeah,
watching us.
Matsuda wanted to be here, but unfortunately, he's going to have to retire early due to his neck situation. Ace Reed, though, still wants to come here. I mean, there's no question that
There you
guys
go.
around the world want to be in ROEW, and that's why
Oh yeah.
ROEW is one of the premier places around, not just in the backyard of the underground wrestling circuit, but period. But I mean, again, guys like Justin Parsley are known. Omen and Soldier are known. No question about it. But I think to me, what's fascinating is we're seeing younger talents like a Holden Holloway, who's been seen elsewhere, and Felix Jones, who's been seen elsewhere. I think that's to me what I find fascinating. Even guys like Matthew Forsaken, who, they've been seen in drips and drabs, but I kind of think they're getting their best run in a company like ROEW alongside Darkron.
Yeah, definitely. I love the fact of the DKW guys here, Matthew Forsaken and Dark Ron. But then you see guys like Joe Stone. You're gonna get Felix Jones now. What about that match? Felix Jones and CJ Black. What do you think of that match?
Oh, what did I think about it? I mean, on TikTok, it's been, a big deal. Some of those little shorts there, but what I think is that I would love to see him do it again. A heck of a match, but shouldn't I not be surprised? I mean, we'll talk about CJ Black in a little while. He's a multiple time 7-star superstar. And Felix Jones, I mean, well, apparently, quote unquote, in another place, his father is apparently rather Justin Parsley. So, I mean, why am I not surprised that the apple wouldn't fall far from the tree? I mean, so yeah, I mean, it was a great match about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think the match took place, and I would hope to see more of those type of matches in ROEW.
100%, because that's where you want to see it, because that's
And
where
we
the
saw Felix
excitement
Jones
is.
and C Money as well, I think, right after that, if I recall correctly.
Yes, sir. That's
Another great match.
absolutely correct.
C Money, pound for pound, has been one of the best wrestlers in the entire yard all year. I mean, I would say that there's two companies that probably in the backyard, not the underground. The underground's a different ballgame. I know ROEW now is going to the underground, you might want to say, but to me, there are two companies that stand head and shoulders above everybody else. And ROEW is one of those companies. And you could argue 4 or 5 different talents are in ROEW, and they're the very best. And that just, why am I not surprised?
Yes, sir. Um, you know what? You're making me thirsty. So I'm gonna get me
Yeah,
a
you know
top.
what? I have to say for the audience, when I did my video to introduce you again, because I always like to do my videos. By the way, 500 plus views for it. I was in the community, James, that got me to the magic 1,000 subscriber milestone. Beautiful Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, where literally 200 people in that community subscribed to my YouTube channel. I mean, who would have
That's
guessed?
amazing.
I'm unbelievable. So I had to go there and pay my respects, and I shook hands with some of those people. Actually, really, I got a chance to shake hands with them and thank them for their support. It was really a surreal moment, and getting to meet some of those people and thanking them for their support, not only of recently, but throughout my entire career, my life, really. These are people that, they've seen me from without the mutton chops, and they supported. I know, right? Very weird, but they're the people that are going to get us to a Sunday special show there. But we're seeing Holden Holloway and Omen Black have a rather special match.
Definitely special match. They're both trading blood. They're trading color right now. Look at this Uranagi into the table right there. It was just wild to see that. And then the finish, of course, by Omen Black. But to see those people, I don't think I could see you without the mutton chops, to be honest, Mr. Tom.
It's a long time. Those are, select people out there in beautiful Sheepshead Bay. And obviously my immediate family would probably be one of a handful of people, and some other supporters. But yes, it's a very special thing. Let me ask you, though, one question on this as we get ready to watch the Jason Storm segment, probably your least favorite segment, maybe one of your more favorite ones. But let me ask you this though: do you want to see more matches like we just saw with Omen Black and Holden Holloway in ROEW? It added something that we usually don't see here in ROEW. What's your thoughts on that?
So the interesting take about Omen Black is Omen Black's made a name in my eyes to where the only thing I expect to see from him is a violent matchup like that. I don't want to
Right.
see a matchup. I can't imagine seeing a matchup with Omen Black where he's doing a lot of rest holds, he's doing some arm bars, he's doing some hip tosses. I see him just going in there in straight brutality. So if I see an Omen Black matchup, I'm expecting to see blood. I'm expecting to see some type of carnage, and that's just what I expect as a fan, because I am a fan of Omen Black, not so much Soldier, because his stunner sucks. But I'm just kidding. Um, and there's a little hat off to you, Soldier. It's just that's how I see it. Omen Black is. I said it a couple of nights ago. He's a guy that I would like to step in the ring with, and if you really wanted to know what hardcore deathmatch was like, and if I think I've got a couple handfuls left
Well,
in
we're
me.
gonna play some of that in about 20 minutes or so. We are gonna play some of that,
Oh,
but we're
yeah,
gonna play
yeah.
some of your matches because the reason I want to play it because last night we had on somebody that would have maybe intersected with your career in the backyard wrestling circuit before you had this second and third run in it. And I want to get your perspective on that, and it'll actually tie into things. But there's a man that you obviously, I would say, you guys wouldn't be having Christmas dinner together this year. Is that safe to say? You and Jason Storm wouldn't be sharing. I mean, I don't know, maybe some ham or maybe some mashed potatoes together. I mean, you guys wouldn't be sharing. I don't know, maybe a biscuit or two together, or no, or maybe you will exchange
Probably
Christmas
not.
congratulations.
I
No,
wouldn't. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire.
that's a bold statement there. It's very
I
bold.
know. He's a good talent, Tom. I'm not. I'm gonna maybe step out of my comfort zone a little bit. He is a good talent. He is a good talent. He's got a shiny ass head to go with it. I mean, it's Jason Storm. He's more of like the class clown of ROEW to me. That's to me. I'm not saying it all of wrestling, but in my eyes, he's kind of like the class clown. And I mean, every now and then the viewers got to have a laugh. So that's why I let Jason Storm go out to the ring.
Well, you definitely let him go out to the ring, and we saw this situation unfold, and really
Look,
disrespectful there to that championship, at least from
look
your
at
vantage point.
Yeah, disrespectful to the T. Exactly. I mean, why would he do that to the DKW World Championship and spit on somebody like Dark Kron and all of DKW, Matthew Forsaken, just to name a few?
Well,
That's disrespectful.
maybe from his vantage point, he feels that DKW doesn't exist. It's just a figment of people's imagination because we've talked about this before when another individual, Judas, was here. DKW's made their name in other promotions, but not really their own.
Uh, True. Maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
I think
I'm just trying to give
DKW,
it. Yeah.
those guys in DKW got a lot of heart and
I
probably some of
love
the
the
biggest heart.
DKW guys. Let me put it out there. I love Forsaken and Darkron. Darkron's here next weekend. We're putting him back in the Hall of Fame another time. I mean, we love Darkron and everything he does for our community. But Jason Storm, he might feel from his vantage point that BYW, if it stood on its own, would be a better promotion, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, if that's what he believes, but I mean that's his thought. His thought don't nobody his opinion doesn't matter, Tom. Not compared to anybody else in this business in this community. His opinion is the least one that matters. I hate to say it. That sounds like a bad guy of me. Not very manager like, but I mean he's disrespected me. Hell, he's disrespected you. He's disrespected anybody he talks to because he thinks he's above and beyond every single person in this community, and he's dead ass wrong. Because one day his mouth is gonna be talking too much shit, and then that check he keeps writing, it ain't gonna be big enough for him to cash it. Somebody's gonna come along and beat the living shit out of him
Wow.
before he
I
knows it.
mean, you might be speaking too soon there. You're saying somebody's going to beat the living tar out of him. That kind of sounds like, wait a minute. He lives.
He
He is
lives.
no longer an AI version. He is the matchmaker, JX, and he is back in ROEW. What, James, for the first time in, I got to think 3 months maybe. This is about, I think
Yep.
3 months is the last time we saw him in ROEW shortly after his match with Jack Delta lost there, and he made one more appearance, I want to say, or so after that. But he's returned, and apparently, James, he returned from jail. I mean, do you know anything about this? That JX is back from
Apparently, he's been in
prison,
jail. That same as you. I mean, I'm up in the air with it. I don't know why he's been in jail.
and you didn't
What
have any
happened?
talks with JX in jail to maybe bail him out? Was there any talks with his anybody there about this? I mean, because you're the owner of the company, I would think you would have knew some of this stuff.
All I was told was that day I got a phone call from him. And he said, "Hey, man, I just wanted to let you know I'm out of jail and I'm asking permission to show up to the ROEW arena tonight because I got to send a message to Jason Storm." And I just took that phone a little bit closer to my ear. I said, "JX." And just like the old man says, I said, "Oh, hell yeah, go do it. Go get him, Tiger." And that's exactly what he did.
So Jason Storm's got problems not only within BYW, but outside of it now with JX. I mean, what do you think happens there and
Well,
such?
let's take a little curve that's going to bring us right around back to that subject. Let's say, okay, so this past Friday we saw JX return. I got a couple of notes I'm going to read off to you real quick,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
it was awesome seeing him scare the crap out of Jason Storm. We just saw that. However, Big Man Cam needs a number one contender, Tom. So let's kill
Yes, he
two
does.
birds
He
with
was
one
here.
stone.
Listen, Big Man Cam was here last week. Correct.
That's right. He definitely was. But you know what? He doesn't have a number one contender. So to kill two birds with one stone, I'm announcing right now that this Friday night, it's not a particular show, it's just going to be a matchup. I am officially making right now here on Sportswire Radio. It's a number one contenders match as Jason Storm goes one on one with JX. And the
Whoa!
winner of that match will be the new number one contender and will face Big Man Cam in the future.
Oh my goodness! So you mean to tell me Jason Storm versus JX, and the winner gets a shot at Big Man Cam?
Yes, sir. 100%.
It's a big test for Big Man Cam, whoever walks away with that. I mean, think about it from one vantage point. You got Jason Storm, a man who obviously would like to, certainly settle some unfinished business with Big Man Cam, and JX, who kind of comes out of nowhere, but also has unfinished business because he was the ROEW champion once upon a time, and his kind of situation in ROEW has kind of spiraled slowly into where he is now since he lost the championship last year. You could make the case when he lost it originally to CJ Black, the good guy, toward right around anniversary time last year. So if you could make the case that the winner of this match, I mean, they've got some scores to settle, and Big Man Cam could right out the gate here could be a dead man walking potentially.
Definitely. It's going to be one hell of a fucking situation because I want to see JX get his hands on Jason Storm. It's long overdue. I'd like to see any man get in the ring with Jason Storm and beat the crap out of him because that's just pure entertainment to me. That's like going to the movies. So,
But what do you think about Big Man Cam and the test that he'll face there? These are two men that have been world champions, multi-time world champions. These are two big draws, and Big Man Cam might be undefeated in ROEW so far, but if anybody could take away that championship from him, it could certainly be either JX or Jason Storm, the Cyclone or the Matchmaker. And, they always say, you've been a world champion, James. You've been a legend. You have 130,000 followers. You do know that the first title defense is always the most difficult one to have. And it's anything, it doesn't matter what promotion, what company it is, that first defense is always the most difficult one. And Big Man Cam's getting a huge test no matter what happens here.
100%. I think Big Man Cam's got a lot to study. If I was Big Man Cam, I would definitely come to that arena that night this Friday, and I'd watch JX versus Jason Storm because either way, I might not like Jason Storm, but you can't deny his ability. And if Jason Storm, however, comes out the victor, he's going to go one on one with Big Man Cam. And however, Big Man Cam holds the W over Mr. Jason
Well, you
Storm.
seem like from last week's show with Big Man Cam that you kind of didn't dislike Big Man Cam as much as, let's just say, Jason Storm.
No, that's right. I mean, because I saw the potential. I see the potential in somebody like Big Man Cam. He's young. He's got a lot to figure out still. He's a hell of an athlete. He's very dominating. At least he has been in ROEW, and to see him be under the wing kind of both CJ Black and Jason Storm, it really irritated me because I don't think Jason Storm had any business trying to act like a mentor to Big Man Cam, because Big Man Cam could snap him like a twig if he really wanted to. And I think, and that's why I said what I said a couple of nights ago when Mr. Cam was here. I really think that he's holding that monster in because ever since he put that 10 pounds of gold on his shoulder, he's gotten a little bit soft. At least he seems that way. But we haven't really heard from him inside the ROEW arena since he's won the title. So
Well,
let's just wait. We're
we
going to
haven't
find
really
out.
had to. I mean, he won the championship and he was very dominant in that. And maybe he's going to let his actions do the talking.
Well, any real wrestler would tell you um, that it's a lot easier to chase the title than it is to retain the
Oh, for
championship.
sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this right here, that's been an easy path in a sort of way for Big Man Cam because look, he went through a lot. He went through five men of those six. He was the sixth
Beat
one.
the DKW guys. I mean, C
Uh-huh.
Money. I mean, he was just dominant.
He was, and he came out the victor, and now he's the world champion. But now, all the pressure is on his big, massive shoulders. He's got to hold the weight of this company on his shoulders. So it's going to be definitely a test for him between JX and Jason Storm. Whoever comes out the victor, that's going to be his future opponent. That's his future number one contender, and that's his first title defense. And that's going to be one hell of a test for somebody like Big Man Cam because of all the pressure that's on top of him. Anything can happen.
I want to make a comparison, but before I do that, this is ROEW's YouTube channel. Go out there and hit that sub button for me. Please
It's
go
free.
out there and support. It's free.
It's
It's free.
free.
I see the guys in BTW, and my two favorite companies right now, James, are ROEW and BTW. So it doesn't get any better than this. Yesterday and the day before, we talked the GBYWN, the BTW guys were here. ROEW is here. Big Man Cam was here Friday. I mean, it doesn't get any better in the backyard wrestling circuit. My favorite companies are ROEW and BTW. Now, over the weekend, we're going to obviously have some other companies, our friends in the IMF, Resurrection Wrestling, Jack Spade. The Icon is back on Saturday with a man that's sort of an employee of yours, and Justin Parsley, and all of the IMF guys are here tomorrow. So the Underground company, some of our favorites in the Underground, actually going to be here starting tomorrow. But I want to make one comparison. And I was thinking about this when some of the things you said about Big Man Cam. I don't know what his championship run is going to look like. I have no idea. I can't predict the future. But you talked about some of the things. And, he was under the wing, Big Man Cam, of Jason Storm and CJ Black. And he's this big guy that maybe doesn't know how to unlock his potential. He's been in other places, other promotions. And, he's had some success. He's definitely had some moments. But I don't know. When I see Big Man Cam, by the way, I have my ROEW champion Big Man Cam shirt on, by the way. But what I'm seeing from what you're telling me is that Big Man Cam reminds me a little bit of, let's say, some guy when he won a championship out of nowhere for the very first time. You might have heard of the name called Big Daddy Cool Diesel once upon a time. Now, he was under the tutelage of Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, and he was being led one way or another. And, he was definitely having some success. There was definitely some moments, but, he had been in other places, played different characters, different names. And all of a sudden now, Big Man Cam is kind of thrust into a situation kind of similar to the way Big Daddy Cool Diesel was, and where he became this leader of the new generation. And I'm starting to think from what you're telling me that Big Man Cam, maybe he's the leader of this new era in ROEW. We're in a new era. We're going ROEW underground now. And maybe it's a guy that has that marketability, that guy that has that size, that 6'17", 39-foot shoe, and a guy that can go out there and he can be a larger than life personality. And maybe he doesn't have to talk as much because he can put his foot up anybody he wants on this roster in anywhere, as a matter of fact. What do you think about that comparison that I just gave you and what I could potentially see with Big Man Cam and, well, Big Daddy Cool Diesel once upon a time?
I mean, you're basically hitting the nail right on the head. When it comes to a big man, I mean, let's look at other big men that have won their first world title, and it didn't really last long. because they kind of had all that uh, momentum on top of him. Let's talk about the Big Show, Paul White, when he was the Giant in WCW, won his first world title from Hogan and lost it very shortly afterward. When he was in the WWF, he was forced into a triple threat match with Triple H and The Rock at Survivor Series 99 and lost it literally just a couple of weeks later to Triple H. Let's talk about Kane. Kane was a big man who won it. He lost it the next night on Raw to Stone Cold. And even Sid Vicious won it the Survivor Series in 96 from Shawn Michaels. And then 2 months later at the Royal Rumble 97 in San Antonio, Texas, lost it to Shawn Michaels. A lot of these big men, it's like they have that first title defense is a lot harder for them than they expected. The same thing
But yes, that could be.
could
But I'm
happen.
just, but I see something with Big Man Cam where if the stars align, he could be champ a long time, just like Diesel was. Diesel held that championship. If you recall, he held the championship longer than anybody in the entire WWF of the 1990s. Just
Yes.
saying.
He
I
did,
mean,
and that's true. And Big Man Cam has that potential. Right now, he's undefeated in ROEW. Right
beating
now,
Jack Delta, and we've seen what he's done to See Money multiple times, what he's done to DKW guys. I mean, I don't know what's left for Big Man Cam to do in terms of who else to beat. I mean, we'll find out. JX and Jason Storm are gonna be guys that are gonna try. But I tell you what, if Big Man Cam gets through them, to me, there's no stopping Big Man Cam as far as I see.
no, Big Man Cam, if he stays on that dominant run, he's going to be unstoppable. There ain't going to be nobody that I believe that's going to actually be able to stop him. And I mean, it's wild to think about that. As long as he keeps that same focus that he had going into that championship match and the whole time he's been in ROEW, the man's going to be unstoppable. He's literally going to be a force to be reckoned with.
No question about that. And before I go into my next ROEW topic, this Sunday, by the way, James, is my 1,000 subscriber special. So I hope that you would be there. I have people actually from my past, former employers that fired me once upon a time. I have people I think that I haven't seen in years that are going to show up and at least comment in the chat. So it's a big deal, and I owe a lot of debt of gratitude to you, James, and obviously our friend Angela Pink. Angela was the woman that got my home community to subscribe to as many people as they did out there. We're going to honor her, put her in the Hall of Fame. We're going to honor her event, which I'm a sponsor of. We're going to have many people. I hope you'll be there, James. I hope you'll get to see my employers roast me. They did fire me, and maybe they're, as Big Man can put it, they should have fired me sooner. So he would have had Sportswire like 3 years earlier. But, but they're being good sports, my former employers, to come on to the stream and, come on. But that is my special. I really hope that you would join in here. And definitely, I hope so. And I do want to say hello to, there's a young lady, apparently, James, that happens to watch these shows. And she's a big fan of mine. I don't know why. Really, she's a big fan of yours. But obviously, you have many fans out there. But she's been tuning into my shows. And she happens to like me a little bit, just a little bit. But probably by the end of the show, she won't like me anymore. But I do want to say hello to her. And I hope that she's enjoying the show tonight. And she is definitely a very special person to us here on this platform. And we definitely want to acknowledge her because obviously if we don't, well, then I won't have a show on Sunday. But well, I think I'd still have a show, but it'd just be a little bit less special. But I hope that this person, she knows who she is out there. And we definitely thank her and hope that she's having a beautiful day. And I hope it's as beautiful a day as it was in beautiful Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. You should come to Sheepshead Bay sometime, James. I mean, you could see
I'd
all.
love to. I'd love
You
to
should
come. I've
really,
never been there.
now this woman, now she, I know, wants to come to Sheepshead Bay tomorrow, but we'll have to see about that. But obviously, let's get to everybody here. Before, actually, we'll do one more thing. I want to do one more thing because I want to bring up CJ Black, the good guy. Now, I know you have a long history with him. Before I get to everybody in the chat, I know everybody just hang on tight with me. Bear with me for a second because I want to put this post up and I want to get your reactions to it because you're the owner of the company. And I don't know what your opinion on it is. And I would like to see what you think first. And tell me about CJ Black potentially stepping away in ROEW. And you won't see him on Face Off this week. And you'll see him one more time. And what's your opinion on that, good sir?
Well, I mean, if I was a betting man, it's more the fact that the man looks like he's probably getting burned out. Everything's just not working out for him anymore. And I think he's just kind of tired of it, and he's burnt out because he doesn't know what to do anymore. He's probably just everybody gets burned out at something, and
Has
maybe
he
right
asked you
now,
for any advice?
huh?
Has he asked you for advice?
He hasn't talked to me. No, he don't talk to me. He don't answer my
Why
phone
not?
calls. He
Why
don't
doesn't he
answer
talk
my
to you?
text messages, and I pay his bills. But I mean, hey,
Ah,
but if he needs time off, then I'll probably have to grant him some time off. Regardless, I'm not going to force him to do anything he really don't want to do because I'm not that horrible of a boss. But I mean, the man obviously posted that. It clearly means he's upset about something. Maybe something ain't working out in his life. He's just burned out. Maybe he just needs a break. Maybe we'll see CJ Black in the future. Maybe we won't. I mean, anything could happen, Tom.
so do you think it has anything also to do with one other name that we spoke about just before it, Jason Storm? This rather, I don't know what's going on between those two. I mean, some people say Big Man Cam had his thoughts on it, but I don't know what you think. So I was curious. Do you think it has anything to do with this situation with Jason Storm? He's pinned CJ Black, and there's been some other things going on there. We saw that in the six-pack match for the world title. And I mean, what do you think? Maybe if there's anything to do with Jason Storm?
Maybe he's aggravated with Jason Storm because this is exactly like I said. And it looks like Jason Storm's the one that's trying to steer the pot in BYW. And I think CJ's used to being the leader. And whether he wants to admit it or not, they're best friends. I think Jason's getting inside his head and it's pissing him off. And I think maybe the good guy is actually on the verge of cracking and becoming a real good guy. And I think the good guy in him is coming out saying, hey, man, step back. Let's take a break. Let's analyze what's going on and then let's handle the situation like a true good guy would. But I'm just talking out the mouth. I don't know. It could be. I mean, maybe it's something dumb. Maybe it's the fact that he thinks his brother, or he knows his brother's better than him. I
Oh,
mean,
well, I was going
it
to
could be
ask you about
anything.
that. Do you think that C Money has surpassed CJ Black these days? I mean, CJ Black went to another place that shall be named nameless, went there and defeated a cosplay wrestler there, who obviously allowed to watch certain things. He's defeated his brother recently, and he's been up there, and a lot of guys respect C Money. Matthew Forsaken doesn't seem to respect him much right now. I mean, there was an incident there with his motorcycle last I checked before this past week's show, and then they went to a disqualification. But C Money is obviously the prestige champion. He's a guy that's defeated Aaron Blaze also. He's been in there with some big guys, and Darkron he's defeated. I mean, C Money's got some really, really big wins under his belt. Do you think that maybe also CJ Black, does he think that his brother has surpassed him right now?
It could be a possibility. Let's talk about somebody who is underrated, and that being C Money. He doesn't get a lot enough. He doesn't get enough props that he should because the guy's probably one of the most talented performers inside ROEW. Hell, in all of the backyard wrestling community and underground. I don't know if C Money likes me personally or not. I've never had a personal problem with him.
Yeah, I haven't heard
He
C Money
barely
say
ever
anything bad
talks.
about you. Have you
All
ever
right.
heard that?
No, never. And he barely ever talks, anyways. But one thing you can't deny is his in ring ability because when he gets in there, it's like a whole spectacle to watch. When there's a C Money match on the card, you could damn well bet that when I book it, it's going to be entertaining. It's satisfaction guaranteed, Tom.
Well, definitely, to quote the Rolling Stones there, that is the case. But we'll have to find out whatever happens with the good guy. I hope that he still is in the ring, and I hope that we see him in ROEW for years to come. I know you may or may not feel that way. Big Man Cam may or may not feel that way. And the good guy has had his issues with me over the past 2 years, but he's a great talent in the ring. His match with Felix Jones, I think, will speak volumes. His matches with Jack Delta, JX, a long list of great talents. And I hope to see him for the next 50 years if he wants to wrestle that long. But
Yeah,
who
true.
knows? But, let's get to the chat because a lot of people want to say hello. I want to give them an opportunity to talk to you before we transition to the second part of the show tonight. And I'm happy everybody's here. We have a great turnout tonight. And let's go to Zilla. Zilla, of course, is very excited to see you. Hi to the owner of GM. Well, you have the GM, right? You're not just the owner of
I'm
ROEW.
the owner. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
the
know
owner.
why
But
she
thank
called you
you,
the GM.
Zella. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Yes, the owner of ROEW, and thank you. Yes, all wrestling matters, Zilla. We love that. I want to say hello to Comatose, by the way, who wants to be the new GOAT of BYW. He shared our link on here just about 25 or so minutes ago on his Instagram page. Also, I want to give my thoughts and prayers, if I could, to Comatose, because a good friend of his, Logan Adams, passed away a few days ago, and very
My
important person to him
condolences.
in his community. And Comatose is a good man. He's a fine young man, and definitely one of my favorite talents from BTW. BTW has become, just like ROBW, my two go-to BYW companies. Although I'm still confused. You guys are ROBW Underground now, but definitely BTW and ROBW, two of my very favorites. And I see some BTW members here also, so I'd like to say hello to them in a little while. Yes, hello to Comatose. He's a double champion, by the way. I know you've met Comatose recently, so who knows? Maybe one day Comatose will come from Idaho and go to Michigan. You never know. You never know.
Never know. Never know.
To the GOAT BYW Fanzilla. And speaking of people that he's, by the way, if you have heard commented since this, Chase Wakefield was here last week on Sportswire. And now I don't want to give my young lady friend that's obviously starting to, maybe she won't like me after this show. Probably not. But, Chase Wakefield. Now, don't get any ideas. Let's just say to my missus out there that Chase Wakefield is doing a wedding wrestling show. Now, he's getting married, but putting together a wrestling show. And he's got these big names. He's coming back on here November 6th, right after the election. So if you felt disappointed your candidate lost, Chase Wakefield's going to certainly lift your spirits by announcing some more stuff with his wedding wrestling show. But what do you think about that concept? He's getting married, and apparently his better half said this was a great idea, and he's going to now have a super show, basically, a super show like no other. What do you think about that?
So here's a funny thing about that, real quick. I'll keep it short and sweet. That's awesome, an awesome idea. It's actually the second time I've ever heard it because I had a friend prior a couple of years ago had that as an idea, invited me to it, told me what we were going to do in it, and then it got called off. And I was sad to see that it got called off. Everything happens for a reason, but Comatose, or I mean Chase, if you're gonna do that, go for it, bro. And if you want me to be invited and just tell me where it's at, maybe I can show up. I'd love to show up to something like that. It'd be something interesting for sure.
Yeah, well, he's having it in Pennsylvania next year, and I think he has invited you. He told me at least he did invite you. He's
Okay,
gonna
cool.
he's gonna be here. You know what, James? I got an idea. Now, November 6th, Chase is gonna be here. He's gonna be here a couple weeks from today, 3 weeks as a matter of fact. Maybe you might want to invite yourself when he's here on November 6th.
You know what? I might just do that,
That's a
Tom. I
great
might
idea,
just do
don't you
that.
think? That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
idea. But okay, well, let's move on here. Yes, let's go. JX is back. Yes, I'm excited finally to see JX, because I've been waiting for JX and other promotions to show up, and now he's back, and now we get to see him in ROW where he belongs. Speaking of
Welcome
people we
back.
always love seeing, the legendary Darkron. Love Mr. Darkron. And speaking of people, the big bad dragon, the Resurrection Wrestling World Champion Drake Golddragon is here, and Jack Spade is back on Sportswire for the first time in ages. Officially, his return to Sportswire for the first time in, I think it's like 5 months since Jack Spade's been here. Jack will be here Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and Drake Golddragon's here. Anything you want to say about good old Drake Golddragon?
How you
No.
doing, Dragons? Good to hear you. Good to see you. How you doing?
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. We love Drake Dragon, and we love our friends in Resurrection. And Ronnie Brady's back Monday night, so we got a lot of Resurrection coverage coming up. So we're excited about all of that. Well, it would be better than the other promotion, right? With the three initials, I'd rather have Resurrection, right? Easily, right, over than that other company, right? Much better. Let's move on.
Yeah, yeah,
I think, James, you were like, don't say anything about it. Yeah, I was advised not to say anything on that company, so don't worry. I covered you. I'm just trying to cover my good friend James Taylor. Hello there, Zilla. Yes, hello there. Yes. Ox McCoy is in the house. My man Ox McCoy. Love my man Ox McCoy. Boy, Ox McCoy is a man that sends his messages in blood, rains in blood. Maybe he could send my lady friend some messages in blood. Maybe that'll turn her away from me finally. Maybe not. Who knows? But Zilla, though, has a rather interesting comment. That match Omen Black and Holden Holloway made her sick to her stomach. I don't know about that. I enjoyed the match. What do you
yeah.
think?
I mean, I enjoyed it too, but some people get a little wheezy when it comes to seeing blood. So, if that's the case, if Tom shows a match here in a little bit of mine, then you probably want to leave because I mean, it's not really bloody, but there is some blood. Not as much as that, but close.
Well, I will just say it may not be for the faint-hearted, but for my lady friend, just cover your face if you feel the blood's too much. But that's okay. You look at my face every day, but then again, you shouldn't be worried about it. Screw that. Matthew Forsaken is a scared little fill in the blanks.
Mm, mm, mm. Matthew Forsaken and C Money. That's a hell of a combination right there. But C Money obviously has his opinion about Matthew Forsaken, so I guess maybe we're gonna have to see a rematch or something later on.
What do you think there? Because C Money's been red hot. We've talked about his wins, Darkron, Aaron Blaze. He beat another guy, another promotion that shall be named nameless. CJ Black, he's defeated. He's got some really big wins. And it would almost seem like to me, maybe this is the only way Matthew Forsaken could stand a chance against C Money. What do you think on that?
I mean, maybe if he keeps saying comments like this to Matthew Forsaken, he might be barking up the wrong tree because maybe I don't know, Matthew Forsaken might pull something out and beat the ever living crap out of C Money. So C
Oh,
Money, be
I
careful.
know Matthew Forsaken. I've seen him on Sportswire take off his shirt and show all the welts on his back of blood and cuts. So that may be so, but time will only tell. Yes, hello to Ox McCoy. Ox and the IMF boys will be here tomorrow in James Taylor's chair. And speaking of people, Justin Parsley there with a rather, I'm not quite sure what to make of emoji.
I don't get it either. I don't know what that
I
means.
don't know. Well, we'll move on. Speaking of people that I always love seeing on Sportswire, Cameron Cage. Hopefully, I get Cameron Cage on Sportswire in the month of November. Cameron is here. Cameron is always a favorite of mine. I know a favorite of yours. I love Cameron Cage.
What's up,
A
Cameron?
solid talent. A solid
That's
talent. Just
solid ass talent right
a
there.
solid talent. Just a
Yes,
solid,
sir.
very solid. Speaking of solid people, my friends over in WCE would like to say hello, and really hello to you more so than me. But we appreciate WCE. We want to say hello to them, and hello. We
Good
can say hello.
morning. Hello.
Yes, we can say hello to WC. WC is good on Sportswire. Yes. Hello there to Justin Parsley. Yes, he is the inaugural PWF champion. Yes, which I own 1/3 of the company for. Want to say hello to the artist formerly known as Trinity, now Ashley Miller. Good evening, folks. A rare PTO, which I think is a personal time off day. I think, right? PTO. I wouldn't know. I never have a PTO day. You know, I'm never off. I'm working 365, 24/7. I don't take days off, James.
You should take a day off,
You
Tom.
know what? My lady friend tells me that I should take a vacation and spend and blow all my money on her. But I might be sorry. I should probably give her my bank account. But I like to work. I like to be there in the community. Like today in beautiful Sheepshead Bay, being around all my people, all the Russians. The Russians. I mean, my goodness. I mean, I was just everybody it was almost like little Russia. It was like little Odessa today, and they were all coming to Sportswire, 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 wrestling, So I can never take a day off. She might be stuck with that. The people of Sportswire may be stuck with that.
So, Tom, are you officially saying that you're in a relationship with somebody?
No, not really. Actually, no, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, but hey, you let your Russian friends know that you're good friends with James Taylor. That I'm
No,
good friends with.
I tell you what I am gonna do. I tell you what I am gonna do. When I go back to Sheepshead Bay in Brighton Beach, there was. If you ever watched the Simpsons episode where Homer went to get a Coke Kalash and there was the guy at the cart, he went, "Oh, Brighton Beach." That was actually off what Brighton Beach is. It's called Little Odessa.
Nice.
I'll make sure to ask though about James Taylor, and I'll ask about, let's say, those Stone Cold memes and TikToks, and I'll see if the Russians have you on TikTok.
Okay, cool, cool.
We'll
I
move on.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'll ask him. Listen, I'll ask him. I'll definitely ask him. My buddy, Mr. Michael Blackheart, how you doing, Michael? Michael, I think will be here very soon back on Sportswire. I can't say when. And now I'm actually I'm definitely not in any relationship because I'm getting messages now. Now I'm definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely no relationship now, James.
What now?
well, you know what? We'll have to see. Yes, very sad news about Matsuda. Mr. Matsuda, unfortunately, his career is coming to an end in ring-wise. He has a neck injury. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram. He posted he just had a neck operation. So he
What
unfortunately
happened?
something happened. He wrestled. I guess I'll say it here. He wrestled a match which we're going to see on the Wrestling Zero YouTube channel probably, if not this week or the next week or so, and he got hurt in his match. And basically, he is told that he has to retire as an in-ring performer.
Hmm.
He has like
Mhm.
a bird, it's like a neck fusion or something like that. He's done pretty much. He's done.
Damn.
He's done. Well, he'll talk
That's
about it
sad.
on Sportswire in a few weeks for sure. He actually will talk about it. Yes, happy birthday to Felix Jones, the Prince of Professional Wrestling. Yes. And he's not here though, but we wish him a happy birthday. Yes, we definitely wish him one. And yes, hello to the Incorporated's Cameron Cage. We love Cameron Cage. RTG, by the way, the general manager of BTW. It was BTW Day on Monday show, and RTG is a man. He's got multiple championships in his company. He's got some big names there, and he's a fellow, obviously successful owner and general manager. And he's saying hello, kind of
Hello.
him,
Good
very
evening.
kind. He's a kind man, RTG. Despite what they say about him, he's a very kind man. Jason Storm and JX are my favorite wrestlers of all time because they are awesome, amazing, and cool. But they're feuding against each other, so how could you like them both?
Who are you going for when they face each
That's a
other?
great
Zilla?
question. That is a great question. We have a lot of comments, so we appreciate them. Hello to BTW. I may be out of the Backyard Havoc coming up November 9th to 10th, and but he will, meaning Jason Storm, will still defend the title, the ROEW Midwestern Championship. By the way, you would
Mhm.
call it the DKW title. I try to
Dark
stump you.
Cron don't like that.
I know he doesn't, but he's gonna kill me for that next weekend. Darkrai won't let me live. He'll still have like one hand. He'll still kill me. The last time we saw, I thought that we did see JX after he lost in that championship match to Jack Delta. So we did see him at Weekend Warfare, which was maybe a month later, I want to say, which would bring it to around maybe the end of June, early July. So he'll
Yeah,
explain
that was
about that. Thank
around the
you.
last time we saw him. Thank you, Mr. Marketer.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. They got paid. They got paid today. I see.
yes, they
Yeah,
did.
very sad about Yoshi Matsuda. But yeah, health comes first. Health is wealth. I always tell people health is wealth. Wealth. So definitely for sure. Definitely for sure.
100%.
Speaking of people that want to say hello, and they give us a rather interesting comment here. Vega Storm is here with hashtag resurrection.
Interesting. Interesting.
Resurrection. At least he didn't say TBW.
I know, right? Hey, Vega, more power to you, man. Congratulations.
Well, he
That's
definitely
it.
didn't say UWA, by the way.
Oh, God.
Let's move on here. We don't want people to go in the toilet, because that's where those companies are going. Well, one of them already is. But yes, thank you to Mr. Matsuda. Mr. Matsuda is going to come back on Sportswire to talk about that Zilla. And yes, we love backyard wrestling because of Ace Reed and Yoshi Matsuda. Couldn't agree more. Hello there.
Mhm.
RTG knows Zilla very well because Zilla and I are usually in the BTW show chats, and Zilla's always going back and forth there. So not just ROEWs.
There you
Yes,
go.
we respect Big Man Cam. We respect him, and she bows down to him. Also, she bowed down to Big Man Cam. Let me go to Ashley. Well, I don't know how to address this, but I'll be making a small return to XCW to ring announce Hit the Lights in Halloween Harvest. Well, congratulations. Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to that. Good to see you back where you belong. Very excited about that. Yes, I did see that. Yes, that was done about a month and a half ago. There was a good cause. We support that very much. Thank you for that. And yes, CJ Black. See, somebody doesn't want him to leave.
Yeah, you got a fan, CJ.
Yeah. So see, I told you, there's a lot of people that respect his work.
Hmm.
You want to say no comment. You want to say no comment.
Okay, no, no, it's
All right, I
understandable.
got more
Zilla.
comments. Let me get to the chat because I'm still behind. The good guy CJ Black made Zilla love backyard wrestling. Yes, is an amazing and talented wrestler.
Yes, he is good. He is
And
good.
yes, prayers to Comatose, Mama Comatose, and to the Logan Adams family. Thank you, Zilla, for that. What does ROEW stand for?
ROEW stands for the greatest in underground wrestling, Mr. Parsley.
Oh, thank you. But he's an employee of yours, sort of. Sort of. So he's asking.
He's not full time, he's part time. He's temporary. He's like seasonal help.
Oh, I've never had a seasonal job in my life, so I don't know what that is. But then again, I shouldn't have to work, but I still work. People tell me I shouldn't work anymore. But are you kidding? I want to work. I want to work 365, 24/7. I want to be out there working. I want to be with the people. And I'm with the people right now. And that was a yawning emoji. And ROW, what does ROW not stand for? Responsible owner, employees, wrestlers.
Oh, really? A responsible owner employs wrestlers. I mean, you're basically telling me that I'm doing my job, right? I mean, what are you getting at, Mr. Parsley? You know, With a stupid picture. What are you biting your lip or something? Get your ass on somewhere.
Yes, you could say I'm trying, but probably by tonight I will be basically just going back and just I'll go back to the Russians in Sheepshead Bay after
No, you're
tonight's show.
not. You're gonna take your lovely lady friend out to a New York steak dinner, and y'all gonna have an awesome time at that
Actually, I'm
day.
going to be on Sportswire tomorrow with Omen Black and Soldier GP and Sean Jovi and Nicholas Crenson, so I have to say whole rain check.
Well, you're gonna have to make time, okay?
Well, I'm on Sportswire. I'm on Sportswire. I'll tell you what. I'm on time. I'm on Sportswire's time. You know, we're in prime time, baby. Prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. How adorable! How adorable! Yes, I'm glad somebody can give me a reference. That I am adorable. I think I'm adorable. I don't know if I'll be adorable after tonight's show, but definitely, I'm sure that this person watching will definitely not think I'm adorable now. Definitely doesn't think I'm adorable. But speaking of people going to be, my buddy Silas Walker is going to be here October the 29th. He is the DBW Global Champion. And he says two friends hanging out. And he loved my video about where I was in beautiful Sheepshead Bay, by the way. Love
Nice.
Sheepshead Bay. I can't say enough good things about you. I should move back to Sheepshead Bay, but then again, I wouldn't have the bright lights. I wouldn't have the bright lights anymore.
Why wouldn't you have the bright lights?
Because I got the setup with like 10 lights in the background. I have to find
So
somewhere else.
take the setup over there.
I don't know. I have an affinity for this setup, though.
Gotcha. Okay.
Good to see you, gentlemen. Yes, good to see you too, Silas. Big text, though. I see he's very quiet, Silas, winking or not. Parsley Killing, how are you? Let's see. Has hi to WC Management and just as good as ever. Mama Queen, how are you? Yes, to Ashley. That's to Ashley. Yes, we love Silas Walker. And I'm good. Zilla's the best. Hello to Mr. Jake Dvorak, by the way. How you doing, Jake? Good old
How you
man.
doing,
Did you
Jake?
see Jake on Instagram? He had a match with Shock. And he put did you see that, James? I mean, James, I know we're gonna watch your matches in a few minutes, but could you imagine you doing that?
I don't do that shit. I mean, hey, that's the thing. Maybe that's just their sick get up. That's what they like to put the
But
noodles
that's
or
like
whatever
really
is the
professional.
straw.
I mean, and by the way, speaking of people who are going to talk about this, Jimmy Controversy is back on Sportswire 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. He's back here to talk about his own situation where he might be, putting some people into similar situations coming up in the Carnage Cup.
Interesting.
Yes, Jimmy
Interesting.
Controversy's back 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Be there or be
You
square.
know, a lot of people have met him. I don't know why I haven't met him yet.
Well, we'll see what you're doing tomorrow afternoon. But I'm speaking away. So I'm working double duty on Sportswire, working overtime tomorrow. Working overtime.
Oh shit!
I remember when I was growing up in Brooklyn, my father would work overtime. That meant we wouldn't see him for a few days. But you can see me here. The good news is you can see me here.
Okay.
Still more physical appearances in an ROEW ring than James Taylor.
What? Next comment.
Okay, we got a lot of them here. The people are just
he's just running his mouth.
Well, we'll see. Yes, hello, love Mr. Dvorak. Love Mr. Dvorak. I like Mr. Dvorak.
And, I thought that guy respected me, and that
Jake
Mr.
Dvorak respects you. Oh,
Mr. Parsley. I
Okay.
thought Mr. Parsley respected me because I gave him an opportunity. It's not my fault that he failed at the opportunity, but I mean that was the only seasonal help I needed was for that one time, and he's out of here. I mean, if he wants a full-time job, all he's got to do is just get down on his hands and knees, knock on the door, and beg for it, and I might
Justin
help him
Parsley,
out.
though, I've known Justin Parsley a while. He's not that kind of guy.
Well, then
To
maybe
quote
he
the
should.
LL Cool J song, I'm not the kind of guy. I'm not going to break into some raps. Maybe Sunday I'll break into some raps, but
Maybe he should keep his comments to himself.
He's got plenty of comments still to go, though. You're reckless. Reckless owner employs wrestlers is more like it. Well, you should ask yourself this. I would think that you're a better owner than the one where Mr. Parsley comes from first, don't you think?
Yeah, Mr. Parsley. How many owners, especially where you've come from, actually come onto this platform and promote their company? Jack, you can't answer that, can you? I didn't think so. Shut up.
No. Let's move on here. Mr. Dvorak says hello. We love Mr. Dvorak. He is the NEW champion as well, and we love our friends in NEW, by the way. We love NEW. I love all of our companies except the ones that, like the ones with 3 initials, like UWA. Tom, take her out to the Comedy Cellar or get on some uncalled tickets for seeing. What I could do, Ashley, is just basically open up my bank account. That should do. So that should suffice. That should do it,
Yeah,
right? That should
that
do it,
should.
right? That should do it. I got those number of zeros. Yeah, that'll be like, okay, we'll move on. Is TBW for sale yet, by the way? We'll move on. Let's move on.
Oh,
Those aren't noodles, James. Those are wooden skewers. You should try it one time. See? Give you some advice.
maybe back in my heyday, which we might see here
We're gonna see it
shortly.
in about
But
in 5 minutes as soon as I can get through the chat.
I'd advise you to stick around and watch. If you haven't watched it, you'll see the type of brutality we used to do. We didn't do stuff like that, but we show the grit of what it means to be a backyard wrestler back in the day.
Well, definitely, we're gonna watch some of that in a few minutes. We're gonna definitely watch some of it. But let's move on here to some of the chat. Yes, everybody's chilling on the Sportswire. Jake, I'm relaxing and participating in Zam Wham Pow. Reminds me of the old Batman 1960s show. You remember watching the old Adam West Batman?
Yeah. Wow, then the things pops up. Yeah.
They used to play that when I was growing up. They played it on WPIX Channel 11. They used to play it before New York Yankees and New York Mets baseball games. Ironically enough, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets are playing in October, which really hasn't happened much in my life. And they used to play it before those games. And I used to watch Adam West as Batman. And, who knows? Maybe I could, do that too one day. But let's see. I've worked for Samoa. We're going to move on from that comment. SNL tickets are free. Thank you very much for that. James Taylor doesn't know about skewers or gusset plates. Let's introduce him to one sometime. Jake.
And I'll tell you, it definitely would be interesting to see the old school in me, hardcore, go against these new school hardcore guys, because that'd be a clash of titans probably. It'd be interesting to see.
That would be very interesting.
Because I had one guy that we all know very familiar, without saying his name because I don't want to give him too much gloat. But he was one of those guys who thought that he was rough and tough. And then when he stepped into the ring with me and I showed him what real hardcore was, I beat his ass and pinned him 1, 2, 3. And I busted him from ear to ear. And there it is.
Very well spoken. Very well spoken. Where are my manners? Good evening. Oh, by the way, Ashley didn't say hello to you. That was very nice of Ashley to say hello to you. I
Good
didn't
evening.
realize that. And also, he's an old school hardcore guy. He's been doing this since '97. I'm going to get to you in a few minutes. We're going to get.
He's been doing this since '97, son. Okay, I got you. I got you, kid. I've been doing this since late '98. I mean, you might got 1 year on me, but I mean, how much of a long break did you take? I took 16 years before I officially got back in, and I mean, hey, maybe you were doing something different then than I was doing, but it doesn't matter. Maybe we come from the same generation, so my hat's off to you with all due respect.
And I want to give a quick plug here, and I am supporting something also. It is the Miracle on Main Street Diaper and Toy Drive, which takes place between now and December 20th, 2024. If you'd like to be able to donate some money, if you're not in the Ohio area, but also want to donate some toys, new diapers, gently used, or new children's books, you can go to Walden Miracle on Main Street at gmail.com. You can go to Walden Miracle on Main Street at gmail.com, or also get in touch with me here, and I'll make sure that we take care of our friends who are doing things here to make the holiday season brighter for families in need. So we definitely want to support that. And Ox said he took 10 years off. That's all. All respect, by the way. Ox is a good man. Yeah, he's a good man.
I've seen what he's done with Omen. Very much respect. So.
We appreciate that. Yes, we appreciate that. And definitely here we thank also Zilla wants to say again that they're her favorite wrestlers, but that's in another promotion. In another promotion, they might be something, but we're talking ROW now. Tomorrow is a different conversation for a different time. You can bring that up, but I can't choose between them for the match on Friday. Or she can't choose. You want to flip a coin for Zilla who she should pick before we get to your matches finally?
No. That's fine. That's fine. It's just going to be an awesome match for her to see. She's probably not going to want them either to lose or both of them to win. I mean, it's going to be fun, though. We'll find out.
I'm excited about it. I hope everybody joins me in the chat. I'm usually in the NEW chat, although I missed this past week's show, but I'm usually there at 6 o'clock. ROW sometimes is earlier or later. So love my days. Tuesday, I watch BTW. Friday, I watch ROW. And James Taylor.
Give me 1 second.
While you do that, let me get through some plugs. I want to take care of that. Let me get to some plugs, and hopefully, my lady friend out there is definitely not turned away. She's probably going to turn away now after seeing some of this stuff. But obviously, we thank her and we thank all the people out there. And one more time, I want to say, please be here Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time for my 1,000 subscriber special here on Sportswire Radio. We're going to have some guests, people that fired me in the past, people that come from, I don't even know how long I haven't seen them in. A lot of people are going to be here. I hope you join me to celebrate. I want to thank everybody that's here in the chat, everybody that's subscribed to Sportswire Radio. I want to thank Angela Pink out there. Angela was the woman that helped in my home community of Sheepshead Bay, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach to get us those 200 subscribers, to put us over the finish line. We definitely want to celebrate her, put her in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, recognize the soul of South Brooklyn music, but also have some of my very favorites here. So that'll be Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. They're going to be your favorites from the IMF, getting you ready for a highway to hell. Yep, I'm not going to sing, but I'm going to have the likes of Sean Jovi, Nicholas Crenson. I'm going to have the likes of, I am sure, Justin Parsley will pop in. Omen Black, it is his show after all. Soldier GP. You're going to see a slew of greats, Mephisto, and just all of your favorites, Freddie Daniels, and just everybody in the IMF you could think of. James will be here, but good to see you, James. I was more than easily able to kill time for you. I could
My
have talked
bad.
for 2 hours. So no, James, I always tell people I worked on a radio station for 7 months, so I know there's nobody that knows how to talk and be quick on their feet like me. So I mean, listen, that's a no-brainer. You could have been going for an hour. I could have still kept talking, but
That's
I
how
wouldn't
great
want
you
to.
are at this.
I don't know about that, but I will tell you what I do am very excited to see now is I want to go back now and watch some of your matches. We'll watch a little bit
Sure.
here of it with the check because a lot of people are excited about it. So let's go back here first of all. Let's go back and watch this backyard tag match from 2000, this legendary match on May 17th, 2000. I mean, boy, May 17th, 2000. I don't
So,
even remember what I was doing on May 17th, 2000, but I'm going to let you tell us what you were doing on May 17th, 2000. So
yeah.
let's definitely do that. Let me put the link up here shortly. So let's go like this
Yeah, if
and
you
go
want to
like.
turn the volume down a little bit on it, you're more than welcome to, so I could talk through it. It's up to you,
Yeah,
boss
I want
man.
to turn the volume because I think you have some copyrighted music that I would have a hard time playing. So I have to actually turn it down because I ran into this problem with two individuals. One of them you know well, and Anthony Steele, another one, and well, a guy you used to work with in a company with three initials.
Uh,
They played all this music, and it took me like 2 days to clear the copyrighted music. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to not play the entrance's music, but what are we seeing here for the audience on May 17th, 2000 in the TWF?
so this was the around the first month of me actually being on camera. I've been wrestling since
Okay.
late '98. Started practiced all through '99. Then we ended up getting the ring, which was our trampoline at the time. This is trampoline wrestling. That's where I started, and I'm not ashamed to admit it because I loved every second of it. I'm 16 years old here. One of my best buds right there, Chance, is in the ring. And we had a tag team matchup, two unlikely duos because we were actually rivals. He was the champion. I defeated him and became the champion in TWF. There I am coming out right now with my poofy hair, and I'm the current TWF World Heavyweight Champion at the time. And we were forced to tag team in this matchup against another team by the name of the AKA, and it was interesting for sure, Tom.
So, I mean, you guys get this is the trampoline, you get it for the first time. So, what's that experience like now, making the adjustment to go onto a trampoline? Talk to me about that.
So, well, when we were practicing, we were actually practicing at another person's house on a trampoline who owned one. And I
Okay.
remember I didn't grow up with everything. I mean, I grew up, I'm not afraid to admit, I grew up in a trailer park. I barely had anything. We had a lot of land out there because of my grandfather.
Sure.
However, my mom asked me that time because she ended up being able to do this. She's
You
like, if
talked
you could
about
have
this in one of
anything.
your vlogs. Yep.
Yep. If you could have anything for your birthday this year, what would it be? And I said, I'd love to have a trampoline. So that way we can have everybody come here and I can wrestle. And then my dad at the time, who's a POS, but that's a whole nother story. He actually wanted to chip in to get me a gift at the time,
Okay.
surprisingly. And he said, what would you like? I was like, if there's any way you can get me a video camera, if you've got one to let me borrow, I'd
That's a
love it.
good gift, though. That's a good gift. That's a
At
good
that
gift.
time, yeah, he went to Best Buy. He bought a $250 digital camera and that was a high dollar one back then. and that's what we're
You
using. It
you
had
wanna
those
laugh,
little
James? I
bitty.
have a Best Buy gift card that I haven't used in, like, 8 years.
There you go. There you go. So he got me that. I got the trampoline. It worked out, and we just took off from there. We had the company. We decided we're going to start filming everything we do, and that's exactly what we did. And it was just having a blast. Just a bunch of guys coming out there who did what they wanted to do by and had fun doing it because we all have the same passion for it. We all love it. And that's exactly what we did. So, and there's one of my old buddies, Michael. I haven't talked to him. Surprisingly, there's a lot of these guys I don't talk to anymore. I haven't talked to in forever. I haven't talked to since these days. But then there's some that I talk to still to this day. So,
Do you think that some of these guys, though, know that you've become this internet kinda celebrity?
honestly, if they did, I don't know. I mean,
Because
it
you
was
have a
cool.
legit, I mean, you have a legit following. We're talking 90,000 on TikTok, 40,000 on YouTube. So there are people that know you in the world. I mean, I was kind of curious if you think that they knew the ones you lost touch with.
Right. I would hope that they would know because maybe if there's some way we could rekindle and catch up because like that guy Michael right there, I talked to him all the way through the year 2000 when we were wrestling. But then when I moved away, he moved away. I never saw him
Yeah,
again.
that was a different time, and wasn't like it is today. People had Facebook, Instagram, everybody's just
Yeah,
friends with each other. If you moved away, you probably chances are weren't going to see that person again. I mean, I can tell you when was growing, I'm a little bit behind you in age, but I remember, in 2000, when I was in Brooklyn, if somebody moved away like off my block, even if they moved like 5 blocks away, there was a good chance you probably weren't going to see him again. I mean, it's just because there
exactly.
wasn't what we didn't have the technology, which is crazy to think that we didn't have it back in those days.
Yeah, and what made it even harder is like today's time, it's easy to have a cell phone, but back
Yep.
then there
Yeah, the
was cell
big brick
phones.
cell phones, the big brick ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was
Yep.
cell phones, but you had to be like a really high dollar person to have a cell phone. If you
Well, I
didn't,
mean, my dad did have a cell phone. 2000 was when my family we started to have money. That was like all
yeah,
of a sudden went from like, I don't want to say we were like the Jeffersons, but it was almost kind of like the Jeffersons. My mother will probably kill me if she ever watches, but 2000, like 1999 and 2000 was all of a sudden, 5 years earlier, I don't know if I would have had those things, but I started to get things. I started to get things in 1999 and 2000. So yeah, my dad had a cell phone. He did have one. Yes,
exactly,
he
and,
did.
and and that's great, and that's really good. I unfortunately didn't have that type of
Sure.
luxury, but I don't judge anybody for it. One thing I'm proud of to this day is every single thing that you see me own or have, I worked, I kicked, scratched,
Amen.
clawed, bled, teared, everything for it. Nothing was
Oh,
ever
you and I
handed
are
to
the
me.
same. Listen, I every penny I have, it was
You
not
earned it.
inherited. Yep.
You earned it. Yeah, I mean,
And you're also you're earning your keep in the ring here. So you're out here now and you flipped off your opponent. Why would you flip off your opponent, sir?
well, he did me the crotch rocket, and that was the big thing back then. That was the big
Yes.
deal, is the crotch and
He's
the middle
Generation
finger.
X.
So
Yep. Yep.
I had to let him know who was boss. He wanted to take me down. He got me with it. There's a little kip up, no arms, by the way. I just got right up, and we're just going to town. We're putting on a
Oh.
show. Went for that stunner. The early days of the stunner. I'm the best to do it, they say. But he got out of it. You see, all you gotta do is counter it. Just push me away, and you won't get knocked on your chin. But these guys nowadays, Tom, they just get knocked out just like that.
How when watching this here, you guys are just getting right back up and in and out and just I mean, are you
So
feeling some of this punishment right now?
I'm definitely feeling it, but I guess when you're a young stud like that, you get a lot of adrenaline rushing. So we're going. I mean, obviously we're on a trampoline, but I mean that was straight competition right there, Tom. It was
No,
like
listen,
who's gonna
trampoline.
get this?
Listen, I say it all the time. Trampoline. You are going out there. You are still doing. Our guys in BTW on the trampoline, and these guys move better than a lot of guys. So I mean, to me, I don't. I'm. My philosophy. I'm not in that belief. You go out there, you're doing something, but your
Yeah,
opponents right now are definitely doing some things there. They did sort of some variation of a spine buster there, and
yep,
he's
yep.
feeling it
mind you, this is in the like right at the beginning of near summer. Okay, it's May
I was going to
17th,
ask
but
you
this
about that
is
May 17th, right? So, what's the weather like for you on that
it
day
was
here?
actually a good 90 something degrees and
Oh wow,
humid that
I was
day.
gonna say 70 because I'm thinking like in New York, May 17th for us is like
Uh-huh.
65 to 70.
Yeah, it was about 90 that day. I remember because it was humid, and in
Oh
the
my
middle of
god.
Texas, it gets so humid. It actually rained early that day, and
Oh
then the
wow. Oh,
humidity
it would have been
just
very humid
sucked
then.
in.
Okay, yeah, yeah. But if
Uh-huh.
you was that humid, you were definitely getting that for sure. You
Yeah,
were.
so if you're watching, we're sweating to death while we're doing it and just having fun though. Here he is hitting a rock bottom. He hits it. He's gonna tag me in, and now I'm about to go in and do a little bit of damage myself. But I mean, I remember that mat right there. It's black. That's a black trampoline. That thing was
Yep.
hot as hell. It was
I was
burning our
gonna
feet
say
while we
if
were
you
doing it
had the
too.
black trampoline with that black mat there, that tarp, that's definitely heat. That's burning. I mean, that's
Yeah, but I want to give a little bit of a thing I noticed in today's trampoline wrestling. I notice a lot of guys go in there with their shoes on. If you ever wonder why your ring doesn't last as long, is because you keep the shoes on. If you look at the way we did it back then, it's kind of like them old Japanese households. No matter what we're doing, we instantly respect the ring, even though it's not a real wrestling ring. To us, that was a holy ground. Everybody took their shoes off, got in the ring and wrestled, and you learn to wrestle with your shoes off because that's how we kept it for
now
so
why
long, you
to
know.
talk about that for the audience. Why do you take the shoes off and what does the shoes do to the trampoline?
Well, when you have them shoes on, you have more of a you got more traction, but at the same time you have a more of a chance of tearing that mat. That mat's pretty thin and it's springy. You want to go on there with either socks or no socks on, just barefooted, either way. And you do that, your ring will last longer. If you go to any trampoline park, there's one that's not far from here. I'm sure there's some in New York, but if you go to any trampoline park,
Uh, I don't
they're
think
gonna
we have
give
one
you
actually. We
well,
don't have
look, you can look it up on YouTube if you're
the
interested, but
well,
look
there's a
up a trampoline
carnival.
park.
I mean, there's a carnival that's in the Staten Island Mall in June. They'll have a carnival. They'll do that. They'll have something along the lines of it. Let me ask you though this question: how long is a life expectancy of a trampoline? If you don't mind me asking, what is
It
the life?
depends on with what we were doing. That
Yeah,
trampoline only lasted for about a year.
that's it.
So yeah, and then we had to get another one. But we ended up getting another one, and we actually just ended up going to another person's house, and we
Hmm.
finished wrestling there before
Now,
we
what was
finally
the cost
decided
of a
to transition.
trampoline? Now, in 2000 was the cost of a trampoline?
That right there, the one we got, that was like a 16-foot. That's the equivalent of like a 16 by 16 ring. That was about a $450 trampoline.
I was a lot of money. Still means a
That's a
lot of
lot
money
of money
now,
for
but that's
back then.
probably now today about what, $700 maybe, about 650.
Possibly. I know there's you can get trampolines for pretty cheap at Walmart, but they don't make them like they used to back then. And I've seen
Mm,
trampolines now, and I mean every
mm.
trampoline is different, depends on where you get it from. But that one right there was one of them high quality ones. There's the Costco store.
Yes, I
Well,
know Costco. Yes, I
we
know
were
Costco.
near a Sam's Club,
Okay.
and that's where that one came from, was a Sam's Club. So it was one of them big ones.
Now, were you guys wrestling every day? What was your wrestling like in
So
those
like
days?
when we have our shows, we do a show like once a week or whatever.
Okay.
But we were practicing almost every day, like because it was summertime that was hitting. We were just finishing school, and we were just going out there and almost every day, if not every other day, they'd come over. Somebody come over like, "Hey man, you care if I get on the trampoline and practice some moves?"
Did you
Yeah, go
guys
for it.
promote this at all? Was there message boards? Was there any instant message groups that you had? Nothing. So
We didn't have nothing like that. We just had a telephone. We would just be calling. Hey, like Chance would call me. Hey man, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just at home playing some games or whatever I was doing. I gotta go to town with my mom to get some
there's
groceries
that
or something.
stunner.
There's the stunner. Hit it on my partner. We won the match, by the way. But we would do that, and then there it is. Now here comes this other team that is obviously mad because their part of the team lost. And I came out and I said, "You ain't gonna get in here." So I give them a stunner, and here comes another one. Here we go. Watch them. Bam, knocked him out. So that was just the way we did it back then. We'd call each other on the phone, see who was doing what. Hey, do you care if I come over? We had a lot of land. Like, yeah, go ahead, go jump on the trampoline, go do whatever you want to do. And then if I came out there, I'd go out. Still, I've got like hours of footage I haven't got to all post yet. I'm already working on another video, and that'll be posted tomorrow. So stay tuned to that. And actually, from the same episode right there
We're
too.
gonna play something else, but in a minute. First of all, if you are here, hit the sub button to James's YouTube page so you can stay updated for all the notifications and all those legendary backyard matches. But I want to ask you something because I asked you the question of about did you guys promote it? Did you guys do anything to keep in touch? But as you're aware of, yesterday there was the legendary Sick Rick from the GBYWN, the Global Backyard Network. It was the Global Backyard Wrestling News Network, and it was the BYW Link. They had this super show that took place a few weeks ago in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. These were guys that would have overlapped in your era. They would have definitely overlapped in the 2000s, and they had a break of their own. They've returned to the ring. In some cases, they returned for the first time in 10 years. And I was wondering this question because you were in the chat yesterday and we were talking about this off the air, and you thought it would be a good idea for me to bring this up. Your career in the backyard is obviously an interesting one. There was a long period of time you didn't compete in the backyard wrestling circuit. You left for about a decade and a half, as a matter of fact. And I was wondering if you would have knew that there was a thing such as the GBYWN, would you have, let's say, maybe continued your career? And would your career been different if you knew of the GBYWN?
I mean, there's just so many possibilities to that statement or to that question, really. But I mean, my career could have still stayed the same, but it could have just been that you've seen me in different places. It could have been different. I could have learned something different. I could have done something different. I could have gotten injured. I mean, anything could have happened. Obviously, with all due respect to those guys, they were in a completely different atmosphere than where I was. I'm in the South, they're in the North, I believe. And but if there was a way that we could have connected, like if we had the technology we have today back then, I bet almost 100% we could have connected, and that would have been a hell of a crossover. That would have been an awesome time for sure. So I respect what they done. I know they know what I've done when it comes to this, so I know what they've been going through, what they grew up doing, and the love and the respect and the appreciation for it. So I think we would have had a hell of a time together.
Because it would have been interesting because they had 80 different promotions in the GBYWN. And of course, our own Sean Jovi was in the GBYWN, and Remy Ravage was in it. So there were people in this generation, kind of like you, that would have certainly very much would have overlapped during that era that were in the GBYWN. That's why I thought it was kind of fascinating to ask you if you had thought maybe you knew of the GBYWN, that maybe your career would have been different. Maybe we
Mm.
wouldn't have saw you in that promotion. Maybe we wouldn't have seen you being the influencer that you are on social media. I don't know. I don't know.
There's so many possibilities to it. There's no telling, but it would have been interesting regardless. I don't know if how constant they are now, but I mean,
Well, the GBYWN, it basically folded, about a decade ago. But
okay, okay.
we have, this is kind of the new forefront of it in a way because of Sportswire and all wrestling matters, and so those things that kind of take into consideration. Let me get to a few comments, but also I want to remind people, if you are here, Jimmy Controversy is here tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're bored before the IMF is back, you want to hang out, Jimmy Controversy's got a couple of announcements. He's going to congratulate me apparently on 1,000 subscribers. That'll be nice. We have some surprises as well for Sunday's show. So Jimmy's been very gracious with his time to come back to Sportswire. So I look forward to seeing Jimmy once again. But let me get to a few more comments. All our old shows were on VHS and have been lost to time, unfortunately. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
time.
dang. A lot. I've hear that a lot from a lot of older guys, and I feel bad for them because I mean, there's some of mine. There's like 3 tapes I know of that has been lost, and I don't know where they're at. I couldn't. I wish I could find them because they have a few matches on there that I really like. But I got everything I could out of the ones I do have, though.
Let me ask you this question. How many hours do you have of tape that you're trying to convert? You have 100 hours, 150 hours? What's your...
I probably got a good 50 or 60 hours left to
Okay.
put up. So
Wow. Well, a lot
I
of
got
matches there.
I got a lot. I've got them all digital. Finally, I got them on the
Wow.
computer. I'm working on them. So
Well, it'll get the watch hours up, but this thing here pops up, which was a thing last week on Sportswire. This nameless one, this binary code with 010, the whole bunch of 0010 zeros and 001 and zeros. So a
it's a
binary.
hacker. It's a
Oh, it's a
hacker.
hacker. It's a hacker.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
trying to
I
hack into
block
your.
them, ban them, or something.
Well, I try not to block people on Sportswire. I will say though that you have a problem with hackers maybe hacking into your TikTok account.
You know, it's funny because before the TikTok account that I have today, the one I had before that actually was hacked at 6,000 followers. And then I lost everything. And then I had to build from scratch again. And that's where I'm at today, thankfully. But I got more security and stuff and measured. So there it is.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. So be careful with whatever that is.
And Zilla's asking Justin Parsley about if they've ever had a woman in the Sinners. It's the first time to have a woman in the Sinners.
Well, I guess Anthony Steele and Justin Parsley can have one.
Omen Black, yes, Zilla's a woman. She actually, Zilla was on Instagram Live with Jack Delta. Zilla is like a legit BYW fan. She's a legit fan, Omen. I would have to say that she's a fan. You might want to retract half the comment, but yeah, half of it though. But yeah, Parsley, yes, he's definitely, I
Mr.
don't.
Parsley.
Yeah, well, I'll leave Parsley alone for now, but I do want to put up here your 20th birthday was painful. And, here's why it was
Oh.
painful. We're going to watch a little bit of it here until I get the ad commercial through. I don't know why it's popping up here. Let's try it again. Maybe it'll pop up now. Could be the magic of technology. Let's go like this. Oh, I don't think it's allowed. Oh, it's an age-restricted video. Can't put it up on the screen. Okay, so we'll have to go. Unfortunately, that was one video. But let's go back to something here where you talked about where you have a vlog from behind the camera. So let's go with that. That's actually something you've played before. But
Yeah.
what's this like? You guys are all doing interviews about each other and such. And was this one of the first interviews you've done and such? What's this all about?
And not really one of the first, kind of maybe, but like there's my sister, Siobhan is her name.
Okay.
It was my 20th birthday. This is actually before that match that's age restricted. So there's a
Okay.
little fun fact for you. So we were just getting things together, and this is kind of like a sneak peek. It was the first time I shared it with the world of what I was doing behind the scenes. Obviously, I'm on the camera right now playing around. I'm doing some testing and just recording. But what we're doing is
How did your
we're
sister
testing.
feel about you wrestling, by the way? What was her feelings
She
about that?
she was supportive of it, but she didn't really like it because she didn't like seeing
Mm.
me get hurt.
Understood.
Nonetheless.
Sure. I can
This
respect
guy
that.
right here, a lot of people is Chris McGuile, and he's actually to this day he is. I've known that guy since kindergarten. He's my best friend, and that's
Wow.
his. And fun fact, that's his little brother Nicholas, who is Phoenix, that we all know.
Phoenix, we
One of my
know it,
biggest
and I and
rivals.
I, I got to give a quick apology to Omen. He was talking about Justin Parsley. So Omen, my sincere apologies. Maybe my eyes need to get checked. Maybe that's why Omen, you should take over for me on Sportswire after Sunday. So maybe Omen will take over. But thank you, Omen, for letting me correct me on that. Thank you for that. But okay, so we're seeing here, and you're friends with him since kindergarten. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the guy I'm pointing at right there, his name's Chris McGuile. I've been friends with him since kindergarten, and all the way up until even me moving to Alabama, I still talk to him. He's
Is
literally
he in
like
Texas still?
he's still in Texas. He's married. He's got kids. All that
Wow.
good fun stuff. But he's literally like a brother to me. It's funny. He wasn't my greatest rival. His little brother, who's a friend to me too, Nicholas. It was my greatest rival, so it was fun. I'm right there. We're just talking, funny, right there. I'm saying my sister's gonna wrestle this match, and she's like, "I can't wrestle in these pants." But we're just out there, just troubleshooting, having fun. Obviously, you don't want to unmute it because there's a lot of music to it, so you could get
Yeah, music.
copyrighted
I
for it.
really, it's annoying, unfortunate with the copyright restrictions.
So if you want, if there's actually a match you'd want to watch that's a little bit shorter and stuff, we
I
can
do
watch.
actually. Yeah, let's do that because
So go to the one where I face
I actually have a
Phoenix.
match I'd like to watch. You actually, I do have
Yeah,
a match.
let's do it. Whatever
Let's.
match you want.
I want to watch a match that actually you talked about, Taylor versus Phoenix 2. Let's watch that one, the backyard
Okay.
street. Let's go with that because actually that would be easy because that one I can play here. That's from 2005. This was one of the later matches in your career, by the way, in the yard.
Yep.
Let's talk
It
about it.
was in 2005. I was
Yeah.
21. Now, the first part of
That's an
it is just,
NYC hat, by the way. The NYC hat.
yeah. So you see, I already knew I was going to be friends with somebody in New York, Tom. See, I was already supporting you right there. So I actually like that hat. Funny story with that hat. My grandfather actually got it because he went to New York and gave it to me. And he's all like, I thought you might like this, you know. And I was like, okay. So I took it, I liked it, and I wore it. It fit me well. I think I look good in a New York City hat. What do you think?
You look great. I mean, you look better with me than a New York City hat on. I couldn't
No,
get.
no, no. So we just got this camera. This is an older style camera that we got. We actually ended up getting it from a pawn shop. We wanted to test it out and do a
Okay.
match. That's why it's doing kind of like black and white, then back to color. It's just troubleshooting, but then it's going to be set straight. But it has
But
that
that
old look to it.
2005 wasn't black and white. I mean, why would it be
No,
black and white? Well,
exactly. It wasn't black and white or anything like that. I was doing that to blog because she was funny.
yeah, I
But
think that's a good
what?
idea, James. We're a family station, especially for the ladies
Yeah,
who don't
but
mind watching.
regardless, it was an older style camera from the 80s. That's why it has that
Okay.
filter to where because in
Okay.
2005, the camera we were using on the trampoline looked better than this one, but we got to pick up all the brutality here. So if Ox McCoy's in here or any of you older guys, you haven't
Well,
seen this
yeah,
yet.
Ashley's back in here. Omen's here. Omen's having fun. We have some people here still, and we'll back to some questions. We see here Phoenix is here, is reborn, and cover if you're a family station like us, cover your face there. But
Oh yeah,
yes,
he was doing that to gloat because he's like, look at me, I got the new girlfriend, blah blah blah.
no,
Trying to he's playing the mind games with me
yeah,
because if you listen to the
he's doing the
story
Edge
here,
Leader thing, right? 2005 was no, that would have been yeah. Was it Edge and
yeah,
Leader 2005? I
Edge
think.
and Lita all the way. They started in middle of '05, late to
Yeah,
'05. You
he's
know, so
doing
it was
the Edge
around
Leader
this
vibe.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Phoenix was like that. He always idolized me when we were younger and when we were doing them trampoline days. If you watch, we watched that match a little
Yes.
bit ago. He was
Yes, we
actually
did.
the
Yes, we did.
referee. He was
Yes.
that
Yes.
little kid, and
Well, he ain't little no more, James. He ain't little no more.
he ain't little no more. He been hitting the gym. He's real skinny, but he's really toned, and he
He's
just
got, you know what they
takes.
call that? They call that, there's a term they use for that. He's cut. That's the term. He's cut.
Yeah, he's cut
Yeah,
exactly.
he's
But
cut.
he wanted to try and say that I had gotten soft or whatever and challenge me to those matches. We watched the first match from a year prior where I was bloodied up.
Yep.
Well, he thinks he's going to be able to beat me again. And so here we go. We go at it one more time.
Interesting. You
And
guys are wrestling on a mattress here, from the car to the mattress. You're using it's ground, but you're using a mattress as well. And it's kind of
well,
an
the
interesting
mattress
thing.
just kind of came into play. You know, it just happened to be there, so it worked for that moment. But the majority of this match is just all ground. And that 1984 Ford F-150, and if anybody knows how vehicles were built back then, it was all metal.
Yeah,
So
those cars are those were heavy duty cars. Those were, very heavy, and you're
this
getting heavily hit.
I am. I'm getting heavily hit by sheet metal, by signs, by anything that he can get his hands on to
This
hurt me.
isn't
That's the thing a little
a
bit.
match you'd see with a company with three initials where there was a guy that was going around saying he was hardcore. Like, this is a real
Right.
hardcore
This
match. Yeah.
this is the definition of
Yeah.
hardcore wrestling,
Yes, we can
backyard
certainly
wrestling.
see that. Yes, you can definitely see that.
When you can
And
improvise with a truck and the ground and a mattress and make a match out of it, I mean, I think you got it, you know?
no, for sure, for sure. Did you guys? I'll ask this. Did you guys plan anything before the match?
What do you
No,
like plan? No planning. This was just
nothing.
hey,
Just
we're
go
gonna go
out
out
there.
there and have a match. All right, cool. You know, let's do it. So we go out there and do it. And look, like he throwing me right in. That's on my back right there, hitting that,
I feel like
knocking the
I've
breath out
watched
of me.
this match before, though, in various incarnation. Right, this was a match where you got bloodied up a little bit, right? Is this the match
Not
one?
this one, no,
Not
not
this
this
one,
one. No,
but
but
you had. God.
this was a double main event match where after this match I had to fight his brother, my best friend Chris McGuile, in a brutal match. Look at that. Watch this bump on the ground.
Oh my damn! Right onto the wood, the wooden plank there.
No,
Oh my
that
god, that's super.
those are metal planks.
Oof. Well, that's even worse.
Those are
It's even
solid
worse. You're
steel
down and
planks
out,
coming
and
out.
you're down and out, and he just falls on you there. Just
And you see people nowadays, they're barely they would put the arms down before they even hit the mat in a ring because they're scared to take a bump. I'd rather not have my breath knocked out than break an arm. Straight up. That's
mm,
how. And
interesting
back
point.
then, I learned to take bumps as well as I do now because of the ground. And I actually do something right here. I kip up right here. He barely catches it, but you'll see
What did being on the ground teach you then in order to help you later on in your career?
how to how to keep that adrenaline going to make me feel invulnerable to anything. I mean, to make me feel invincible, just to be able to do it. Look, here's me giving the same punishment,
Oh my
throwing him into a
God!
truck. I,
Seriously, kids
we
don't
didn't
try this
hold
at home.
we didn't hold back. You could get the wood skewers all you want, but try using a metal pickup truck. It's a totally
Kids
different.
do not try this at home. Do
Yes,
not.
do not try this at home. This is
Oh
not.
my Godzilla! I would not recommend this.
It's a sheet metal right there.
Because Zilla wants to be a
But
wrestler. She talks about being a trampoline wrestler. So I'm like,
it
Zilla, don't do this.
it taught me that what me and like Darkron would talk about the Old Testament. This is literally the Old Testament. Copper Dragon would know it better than anybody
Copper,
too.
yes. And by the way, Copper's back here next month, so we're very
There
excited
you
about that.
go. Awesome. And he actually, I think he reviewed this match, which was really cool. He seemed to really enjoy it. And I didn't even ask him to. Apparently, he liked it that much he wanted to. So that was great. Hats off to him. Thank you for it. And it wasn't 7 stars. You know, that I wasn't looking for 7 stars. And plus, this is 2005. So we did pretty well. But look, metal, those are metal planks that he just suplexed me on the back of that truck. And what this taught me, to answer your question earlier, it taught me
Yeah.
to have that grit, to be tough, because this business is not just, oh, let's go out there and play wrestler. This is, I mean, you're doing it because you love it. You're not doing it to have the coolest spot. You're doing
So
it
let me
because you
ask you
love
this
doing it.
question. Did you, when you guys in Phoenix and Chris are wrestling and everybody else, was there a goal? Was there an end game? Was there an end game?
What do you mean, like for the company or for?
In 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, you guys are going out there having all these matches, right? You're going out there in the middle of nowhere and you're killing each other. Did you guys ever say to yourselves, you know what? Do I want to go and take it to another level? Do I want to do something else with this? Was there ever that discussion?
For them, no,
No.
not that I really knew of, because they all told me, we're just doing it because we like doing it, and that's really as far as we're probably going to go. I think my head was above as much as it could. I was like, I hope one day. Obviously, there's going to be the people that's going to try and throw the joke at me because I've seen a few of them. My goal was WWE. I was like, I want to make it there one day. Maybe I can. Hopefully, I will. But we know it, Tom. I mean, the man upstairs has a path for all of us to go in certain routes, and whether you get to where you want to go, and sometimes you don't, you end up somewhere else. That's what it is. I ended up on the path that I became to where I'm at today for a reason, and I'm very thankful and happy for that reason. I didn't make it to the WWE. Could I have made it? I don't know. Would I have tried? Yes. Did I try? Yes. But again, I come from a time when I did this. The only thing I had was a camera to show my experience and what I've learned and what I've done. I didn't have the internet. I didn't have, like the internet there is today. I couldn't just look up a wrestling school and find something. And if I did find one, I didn't have an extra $3,000 or $4,000 to my name to just drop and go do a school. I just did whatever I could to get by, and this was my escape from that reality of suffering. I, instead of going out there, going to a bar at 21, mind you, and this year I was 21, instead of going to a bar, getting drunk, messed up, and doing something I probably would have regretted, I would do something like this instead, because this was my hobby. This is what I loved, and that's what these guys loved as well.
Well, I would rather do this than get drunk rant for no reason.
There you
I
go.
mean, I look at it like you guys are going out and just having a good time. We're here with ROEW owner James Taylor. We're watching his legendary match with Phoenix for a little while longer. And James will obviously be here again to talk ROEW, and he'll be here Sunday night also at some point, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see, I'm sure, many people that have been a part of Sportswire Radio for the past 2 years or so. Tomorrow is the IMF. The IMF gang is here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. You're going to see your favorites, Sean Jovi. You're going to see your favorites, Anthony Steele is in the house. You're going to see Omen Black, Soldier GP, Justin Parsley. You're going to see, I'm sure, Nicholas Crenton, one of your favorites, James Taylor. You're going to see Mephisto, Freddie Daniels. Some greats, some very good greats. Yes, we're very excited to see the guys back at the IMF getting ready for a highway to hell. And James, right now, you are on a highway to hell right now with Phoenix.
Did you see that reversal? He just like reversed the choke slam into a backflip and then knocked me out.
Anthony Steele wants to say, what's wrong with going to the bar and having a great time? He wants to say hello. I said to him, we'll see him tomorrow on Sportswire. But, well, I'd rather wrestle than go to the bar. Don't you think?
That's the difference between the kids today and the kids back then. I mean, there's nothing wrong really with going. I've been to a bar, but I didn't go to go get drunk. I went just
I have
to
never drank
observe.
I have never drank once in my life. So, I mean, I wouldn't know what that's like. But I have a good question from Ashley before I get to the regular comments back up here. Was that a pickle that Phoenix threw at you or something unmentionable?
I really don't remember what that was. It was something. It was something that was like I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't.
And Anthony goes and does both. Well, more power to Anthony, though. I mean, if he can do
more
it,
power to him. He could go and do both, but that's without starting anything.
Yes, we're gonna move. We'll move
I
on.
did what I did, and I still do it to this day the way I do because my heart is wrestling.
Do you have any regrets about the first run of your career in the backyard? And is there any regrets in those days in the TWF, the street fight here, September 16, 2005, any of those wars you had, May 17, 2000, we watched April 25th, 2004, all those legendary wars. We're going to see more of them on your YouTube page. Is there any regrets?
Yes and no.
Okay.
No, because I did what I did to get better every single time. Every match, even to this day, I still do it. But back then, especially back then, I would do a match and I would 100% go back and watch it. Look at this. Look how rough this was. Boom. Big ass clothesline. Knocked him down like a rag doll.
Yeah, that one I don't think was organized.
We did not hold back then. People want to hold back nowadays. I get it. People are like wrestling's fake. Well, is that fake?
Listen, my approach. I don't think it's fake because I think what everybody does out there, right? When somebody gets hurt, that's not fake, right?
Amen. I eat, sleep, and breathe.
Yoshimatsu Matsuda would tell you it's not fake. His career is over, basically.
Yeah.
He wouldn't tell you. I mean, Omen Black, he won't tell you it's fake.
No. Those are some of the guys just to show you, they're not holding back.
Jack Delta ain't gonna tell you it's fake. Look at what happened to Jack Delta, right? With Soldier GP in that match. I mean, Big Man Cam, he won't tell you it's fake. He was injured for a while. He's back. A lot of guys, the injuries won't. They're real.
100% they're real. And here's two things. Let me finish that question real quick.
Sure.
No, I don't regret it because I learned a lot from back then doing what I did. The only thing I regret is, unfortunately, I had to be. I was actually a bigger asshole back then, Tom, than I am today. I'm more humble about my life. I believe it or not, I was a jerk back then. And I had these friends because I was selfish. I was a selfish son of a bitch.
Are you talking to Anthony right now and giving him advice?
No, not giving him advice. That's what I regret because I look back at the stuff and after I observe it so much, I listen to the way I was and I remember vividly. I was very selfish when it came to a lot of things. I wanted to go out there and have fun with these guys, wanted to be safe. I never hurt anybody. As brutal as we were, I never seriously hurt nobody. And to this day, because of the way we were and how we worked safe, as dangerous as a lot of this looks, can you believe to this day, I have never broken a bone in my body at 40 years old. I've never been seriously injured to where I had to go to the hospital. I never broke my neck, nothing, anything crazy like that. The worst I've had is some fingers cut, been busted open, bled a little bit. That's it.
Match, right? You had it. You showed. Remember the injury you showed us for your last match?
Yep. That match that's 18 plus. Do you know why it's 18 plus?
because you did some things that probably we can't
Well,
show on the air.
we can't show it, but what I can tell you is one thing. After the entire matchup, I put a bonus thing, and it says at the top left corner, bonus footage. After the match, they recorded peeling glass out of my neck. That's why. From a
Well,
light tube.
that's gonna definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds
I
me,
didn't go to
we
the
had a guy.
hospital.
It's funny you said that. We're here with James Taylor, the RWW, and we had a guy. It was Brian White. Brian White, who has wrestled in IWA Deep South, and he had similar instance. He wrestled a match in the yard, and they had tubes put in like. I don't want to say the neck, but like the side of his neck, almost kind of almost similar to what you said. Almost
Yeah.
kind of similar. You just gruesome, just gruesome.
Well, so he took the light bulb like a lightsaber and hit me right in the back of my neck, and it went down my spine. And I worked the rest of the match about 30 minutes almost with glass in my neck the whole
Is
time. And
that the
I
one
was
you had
bleeding.
blood down your chest or back, if I'm not mistaken? Right? Was
Yeah,
that the match?
yeah, down. It wasn't a whole lot. You couldn't see very well, but there was there regardless. But at the end of the match, after we cut, they decided to turn the camera back on. I said, "Yeah, go ahead and record it." And they recorded the brutality and recorded them peeling the glass out of my neck, and
Mm.
then it was fun. And I got
Now,
a scar still on the back of my neck from that
wow.
day too. I'll have it for the rest of my life, but it's memories. I
Now,
don't regret it.
September 16th, weather here, what's it like?
It was hot. It was very hot that
Was
day.
it 90 hot or was it
So,
less hot?
oh no, yeah, it was about 90, if
Wow,
not
it's still in
almost
September. Oh
100.
my good. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Texas heat's no joke. It sticks and it lasts for a long time. We were trying to wrestle later in the evening, but also that's why we're wrestling in this area where there's more shade. So in the
Mm.
shade, it was probably about 80 something degrees. But if you went out there where that sun is, it was a good 90. The heat index was probably 100 easily.
Wow. And you
Yeah,
guys are
so
definitely beating each other up.
going out there
Ashley
for
has a
20
good
minutes.
Ashley's got I know that. Ashley's got a good line now. I've been lucky to have nothing broken because she's done some part-time wrestling in XCW. Worst thing that happened was the taking the barbed wire crutch shots. Was that the match with ACT, or am I thinking a different one? I didn't bleed, but I was bruised all to hell. That's a
Yeah.
very good line there. Very good line there. Let's come
Oh
back
yeah,
to a
the
few more comments.
bruises will come for sure.
And Zilla said that you are one of her dream opponents to wrestle.
Oh, I didn't know that, but okay.
Yes, and Zilla wants to wrestle on a trampoline in a wrestling ring instead of the ground.
Understandable, understandable.
And to go from ground to wrestling in a ring is a blessing. It's like a blessing.
Yeah, because when you learn to take the bumps like I did, we were bumping on the ground. When I got in the ring the first time, and ever since, taking bumps on the ring is nothing to me. It's like heaven. It's like bumping on that trampoline again. Because
Yeah.
I'd rather bump in a ring than I would the ground. But I have no problem taking bumps on the ground.
The ground, what it reminds me of? I don't know if anybody can remember this. You ever play football on the ground and you play tackle football on the ground?
Yep.
You play two-hand, if you play two-hand touch, all right, you get pushed, no big deal. But when you play, again, when I was growing up, you played football on the ground. It was asphalt. We didn't have backyards. It was basically asphalt. So you played football and you were playing with the rougher kids who were like a year or two older. It felt like they were 10 years older. And they just would grab me. I remember one kid, I was growing up in Brooklyn. We used to play sometimes in front of like this apartment complex. Never forget. He literally took me and he just tackled me. I got the ball, and all of a sudden he just grabbed me and threw me down. It was like, okay, I'm not playing football on the ground anymore. I'm not playing tackle football. That was my, okay, I'm not going to be playing football. That was
Here's a good example right here. Here's the finish, actually. So I went for a suplex, and look, those are those steel things, right? I counter the suplex, but then he's going to give me a falcon arrow. And look how high he gets me. And
oh,
bam!
my. Yeah, definitely going to hurt, James. That's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
you're
See,
definitely shaking and adjusting
marks in
it.
my back.
Yeah, I mean, you're hurt. You're in pain. I mean, boy, you need a doctor and you can't get up. I mean, James is definitely not kicking out here. You're trying, though. You move your leg, but
Yeah.
it's over.
No, I kicked out, actually.
Just
Surprisingly.
barely.
The referee, or that is the audience counting as a referee, but he's about to set me up for the final blow, which didn't feel good either. And then you'll see what
Yeah,
happens
I
here.
don't think you feel good altogether right now. I mean,
And I had another 20 minutes I had to do after this matchup. So,
so what did you do to get yourself ready for the next match?
I just dumped a whole bottle of water over my head. That's literally
Well,
all I did.
and what did you, there's the super kick, which wasn't that his finishing move?
That was he called it the toothless kick, which is pretty funny, right? Yeah, because he wants to aim to knock your damn teeth out, and then he calls this
Ah,
the Phoenix Bomb, and this is his ultimate. This is like his
ah,
secondary
reminds me of
finisher.
RJS and BTW.
Look,
He calls it the neuron bomb. Yeah,
whoa!
that's definitely that's a bomb.
Right off the top of that
And
truck,
what did he call that again? What was his finisher? The bomb, the
the
Phoenix bomb,
Phoenix Bomb.
the
Yeah,
Phoenix bomb. Boy,
yeah, and
let's play that again. I want to play that again.
he
Actually,
defeated James. Look off the top of that truck right there. And you see, I'm on the ground. He's jumping onto me, not into a trampoline or a ring or a pool. He's jumping on the ground, bam, right on top of me. Could have broke his neck, but he knew what he was doing. I trusted him. He trusted me. And there it is. He put me out 1, 2, 3, and I am officially 0-2 against Phoenix right now. So the story behind it later on, I try and tell what we'll talk about that another time. But there's actually a Taylor versus Phoenix 3. There's actually two more matches we had, and those will be posted pretty soon.
I was gonna now. I'll tell you what I want to do when we get those matches up on YouTube. We got to watch them.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes.
got to watch them here on Sportswire because I think that'd be
Phoenix,
fun.
Phoenix. There's the first one right there. If anybody wants to see it, I know we watched it on Sportswire, but the August 2004, which was literally a 13 months before that match, was our first street fight.
Let's see.
So do what?
You want me to pull that up? I think it's on
No,
your YouTube
no,
channel.
no. You're
Oh, okay.
good. You're good. Um, but regardless of the fact, that was what it was. And actually, scroll down a little bit. You see the match where it says technical difficulties right there?
Which one?
The 6-pack challenge and my
Yes.
first ever match.
Mhm.
That was my first ever recorded match. If anybody wants to see it, and at the very end, I show my very first stunner on camera. So if
Oh,
you,
wow.
I mean, you don't have to watch the whole match, but um, my stunner is at the very end. Yeah, this is it right about here. It's about to happen here in a
Wow,
second.
you're picking them up almost like you're doing a Chris Masters. Almost
I'm
like your
doing a
master walk.
Goldberg military
Goldberg,
press.
Lex Luger, Chris Masters. But wait a minute, James Taylor is bouncing off the trampoline and he's got that golden lock still, and maybe for not much longer after this. Well, he's got still for a little while longer in 2000, but he's
Exactly.
getting
But
pressed here and beaten up. And
you see the date. Here's
it was
that.
April 22nd, 2000.
Here comes that stunner. Oh, never mind.
And now I think it's going to come up here. It's going to come up. We got it. It's
Yeah,
coming
the
up.
things will pop up. But yeah, April 22nd, 2000 was my
There
first
it is. It's
televised.
coming. It's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Just wait. He's punching him, and then you're about to get punched, and then you fight
Well,
back.
I actually just lost the match, so I'm trying to fight Chris right here. Um, the stunner is near the very end of the actual video, so you have to go forward a little bit, back up just a hair.
Wait, I think
There
I
it is,
just
right
saw it.
there. So see the chant sitting right there. Here it comes, boom and
Stunner! There
boom,
it is.
stunner.
That was the one. Stunner! That was the one. Stone Cold passes the torch on April 22nd, 2000. And Stone Cold wasn't wrestling at that time in WWF because he had a neck injury. So James Taylor, at that moment, Stone Cold calls James Taylor and tells him you could use the stunner. And that's where James Taylor got that chance to become the TikTok legend. The legend you've seen in ROEW and other promotions, such as Resurrection Wrestling and others that shall name nameless, where James Taylor went out there and did that stunner, and he stunned the likes of Phoenix and the likes of Chris and the likes of so many others you've seen being stunned. And there it was. It all
Tom,
started there.
I've stunned a lot of people in
You
my
have.
lifetime. I've
You
stunned a
have.
lot of people, and I still got a few more to put on this shoulder and
Oh,
talk
I know
about.
you're not done. You're definitely, and I know Jason Storm is a man you want to stun still, and you still have him in your crosshairs, and there's just a lot of people you still have unfinished business with.
Yep, yes, sir. I
CJ
mean,
Black, but we don't know about his career now. His career could maybe be coming to an end, according to you, potentially.
maybe I don't know. Hopefully, it's not, but maybe he'll get over it. He just needs some pizza. That's all he needs.
I don't think he's a pizza eater, though. I don't think he eats pizza.
Well, that's why he needs it, so that way he'll
I
he'll
don't
get
know.
over it.
I
But
don't know.
You see, my career is not really much different than a lot of other guys. All I say is just get your stuff on footage and just keep it and treasure it. Don't be like, I've had so many matches, I don't remember them all. I remember all my shit because I watched it vividly because I want to know it. I'm not saying you can't remember. It is what it is. I enjoy what I do because I'm an entertainer. I see myself as an entertainer. And I like to come on here. Maybe that's why. And you keep saying it. That's why I have about 140,000 freaking
You
followers
do. I
because
mean, it's a
I like
lot.
to entertain. I like
And the
to.
fans love you. So listen, when you come on the Sportswire, you are one of the greatest draws in Sportswire history. You are one of the reasons why Sportswire has the subs. You come on here, people, they love having you on Sportswire. I mean, the comments tonight, every time you're on Sportswire, they love having you here. They love seeing you come in and talk with the likes of Comatose and Yoshi Matsuda and Big Man Cam and the IMF boys and Sean Jovi and Dark Cron, and just so many greats that they've gotten a chance. They've gotten a chance to see you these last 2 years. Anthony Steele, of course. I mean, just a long list of talents. Jason Storm, you've been on this platform with before. You may not want to admit that, but there's a lot of great people that
Yes, sir.
people love seeing James Taylor. And you're going to keep coming on Sportswire until maybe it's time I should pass the baton to you. I mean, you know how to get the fans, so maybe I'll just pass it over to you instead of Sick Rick. Sick Rick seemed like he was really interested in it yesterday, but maybe I should just give it to you because you know you got the fans. The fans would eat it up. You on Sportswire, they would eat it up. Just you hosting every night.
No, when they come to Sportswire, they expect to see the Reverend Tom Bryce.
Yeah, but you have a lot of fans though. The
Doesn't
fans
matter.
of yours.
Doesn't matter, Tom.
Let's
This
get to a few more
Sportswire
comments.
is your baby. This is
Well,
your
we'll
show.
see about that. We'll see about that.
If anybody you should pass it to, it should be any little one you might have very soon.
No, I don't have any kids right now. No kids right now. No kids. I'm on Sportswire right now. I don't know if I have time for that. But maybe I should pass it off to the Russians. The Russians might know how to do it. They may be good with that. But we'll leave the Russians alone right now. It was Brady. Oh, I know. Yes. I remember Deacon Storm very well. Brady didn't pull his shots. She took that beating. That Falcon arrow did feel personal. It did feel very personal.
Oh yeah.
Very.
Oh yeah.
And Zilla wants to say you have a better stunner than Soldier GP.
Oh, rate my stunner.
Well, Soldier's here tomorrow. I'll be curious when Soldier's here tomorrow what Zilla says about that. I think that'd be interesting, don't you think? I'll be very
Zilla, I appreciate it, but I really hope that you mean it because I put a lot of work into my stunner. Okay, I put a lot of oomph into it.
And Zilla now wants to say, would we ever see each other? Well, no. Will we ever see you in the ring again or no?
Oh yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay, well,
I'm not done yet.
Well, you just came back 2.5 months ago, so as far as I'm concerned, you could always come back.
Yeah, exactly.
You just wrestled 2.5 months ago. I mean, that's and that's. I love James Taylor. Thank you, Ashley. I love having James Taylor on Sportswire. James Taylor is one of my all-time favorites on this platform. You are one of the greatest on this platform. Sean Jovi was here yesterday, another one of the greats, and you are definitely one of the greats. Absolutely, no question about that. And Taft does not have an inflated ego. No, he doesn't, because he literally doesn't have to, because if he has 140,000 followers, he has 10,000 followers he gained since he was on here 2 hours ago.
You never know. No, I don't have. I had an ego back in the day, but nowadays, like if I could go back in time, I'd slap the shit out of myself and be like,
"Listen, everybody, listen. Before we'll close the show. Everybody." Though could change things. Nobody's perfect. We're all flawed. There's plenty of things. There's plenty of people have regrets. Nobody does everything perfectly. But the good news is you've come out of it. All the stuff you went through, the family stuff with your mother, your father, going through your first stint in the yard, but you are here today giving us a wealth of information. You've been so successful on social media. You've become an influencer. You've become somebody that people value on this platform, value in the community. You've got a lot of respect. You came back in the ring, had a great match, a great return. You're doing great with ROEW. ROEW has become a company with almost 1,100 subscribers, all these great talents. So to me, you're doing great. And I think the best is yet to come. I truly believe the best is yet to come. And anything else you want to say before we close tonight's show? Anything else you want to add to the audience before we move on and such?
Well, I am continuously still working on my Taffy's Lounge. We're closing in on 1,700 subscribers.
I'm
I'm
gonna
hoping
put
to get
that
to
link up right now for that while we do that because we still have a bunch of people here. Still, get that sub button out there. Go ahead.
I'm hoping to get up to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month, if not beginning of next month. So hopefully we'll get there. I have just started. Yes, I know. It's like, why, James? Well, I'm
No, no,
just
no. I got the link up
experimenting.
here for you.
I have just created, if you go under my community tab on Taffy's Lounge, I just created a third channel called Taffy's Tales. I've got 21, 22 subscribers where it's kind of the same feature, but there it is right there.
Where am I
Go
going?
go
Right here.
go up a little bit more right there where it says Hey
Ah,
Taffy right there. So that channel
ding,
is
ding, ding. 22.
it's
You'll have
it's
24
got
by the end of
thank
the day.
you, appreciate it. It's scary stories. It's got
And
those
why didn't you tell me
images.
you had this channel like 3 days ago? I would have gave you this 3 subs already, which I'm about to give you. Why didn't you let
Um
me know?
I was
What's
just
the matter with
testing it.
you?
I've just been testing it, just playing around with it. But I just wanted to throw it out there. I got another video coming tomorrow, but they're a lot shorter. They're not music or nothing. It shows like a scary, cute background with a female, obviously the
Hmm.
anime looking girls, but it's got scary stories that I've got that I've created that I'm sharing with the world and trying something different, kind of dipping my toes into
Hmm.
the scary Taffy's Tales. It's pretty cool so far. So please check it out if you like scary stories, especially for Halloween time. That's coming up right now.
Halloween's 2 weeks away now. It's 2 weeks away. Time flies when you're having fun. And a usual of ours here on Sportswire Radio, who'll probably be back here very soon, Mr. D Savage is in the house. NEW, see him in. He's wrestled D'Angelo LaFlame. He's wrestled Mac 10. I won't ask him any further thoughts on that. He's wrestled in other places in the independent circuit in Pennsylvania, and he's a Boston Celtics fan. He's a champion in basketball, a champion in wrestling, and he'd like to say hello to everybody. It's good to see him.
Hello, hello.
Mr.
Good
Savage is a
morning.
good man. I usually don't see him here this late. It's nice to see him. Always good to see my man Savage. He was loving the TikTok I posted about you and Big Man Cam. He was giving Big Man Cam a piece of his mind. By the way, I'm sure you enjoyed
Oh,
that part.
really? I didn't
He
see
was.
that
He
part. I
was.
saw the video, but I didn't see that he said
Yeah.
anything. So I
Oh,
need to go
it was
back
in
and
the
check that out.
comments. It was in the comments on TikTok. But
Oh,
congratulations.
I want to
Yes.
say something about that real quick. Okay, so like
Yes.
on Instagram, you know how you can post, you know how you bring it to me or anybody, and you're like, hey, if you want, add it to your story and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing on TikTok. The only thing that's different, the reason I want to tell you firsthand, Tom, and I apologize, but the only reason I can add it to my story, but what happens is I get penalized because TikTok views it when when you start making money in the creative program. They see it as if you use someone else's content like that, like it's just straight. I don't add nothing to it. If I was to share your thing, I get penalized. I did it one time and I got a strike for it. It's not your fault. I
Hmm.
didn't know. If it's over a minute long, it strikes me. That's the only reason why I have it. Even though it has me on your video, I still can't. I can't share it without getting in trouble for it. So
No, no, no. Listen,
because
you don't have to explain. You see, I'm not one of these people that you have to share the clip. You have to share the thing. I just tag you to know, hey, this is
yeah,
I'm using your thing. So there's no
no, yeah, I
no
know, and that's
no
fine.
person.
It's just, I would love to do it, but it's TikTok's like that's not your content, and we can't pay you for it. Here's a strike,
No,
and I have
totally
to
fine.
yeah, to get the strike off of me, I have to go 30 days
Listen,
without
I'll
getting.
actually say something to you because I actually get paid. Again, it's nowhere compared to what you get paid on today, but I don't need the money anyway. I get paid on Facebook, and Facebook, I can't actually share. So, for those who don't know this, on Facebook, they don't allow you to share anything. Like, we watched your match in the backyard with
Yeah,
all the stuff, the objects used. On Facebook, you can't share that. They'll strike it in the same way they would strike it on TikTok.
there you go.
Same
So
thing.
yeah, you got to be careful with what you
Yeah,
show,
so
and
on
that's
Instagram, I'll share something I know that has no profanity because
yeah,
profanity is a strike, and anything object related can't
yep.
can't share. So I know the
That
feeling.
and it's no problem for me on Instagram though. I'll share. I can share the stuff all day
Yeah,
on
Instagram. I'll
stories.
be honest. Instagram. If you want to share it, great. but in Facebook's the one I'm really interested in Facebook. But
Okay,
Facebook, I do good on Facebook, so
good
that's
deal.
good. And Soldier said Zilla's a hater. His stunner's better than a 7. Yes, because your stunner's a 10 out of 10. Soldier's is a 7 out of 10. This is why I said on yesterday's show, this is why I don't do rankings, because Sick Rick and I were talking about it. Because if I rank somebody higher than the other person, I don't know enough about wrestling to say that, other than I like both of your stunners, and I hope you keep
Yeah,
both
that's
coming on the
understandable.
Sportswire. I don't
That's
know enough about it,
understandable.
but it is good to see Soldier, because he's in a way getting ready for tomorrow's show, where he'll have the baton, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about a lot of familiar faces like Justin Parsley and Anthony Steele, and Soldier GP will talk about Sean Jovi and a lot of other names. So excited about that. Taffy's Tale. I'm going to subscribe to your old YouTube channel, the PWF channel, through there. We have 24 subs, so it'll be
Okay.
3 more subs. So you just got the Sportswire sub with that. So I'll definitely check out some of that. Congratulations with that page. 1,640 subs I see on Taffy's Lounge. Keep up the good work with that. And is there anything else you want to share tonight before we say sayonara?
No, just stay tuned to ROEW, especially this Friday as we see that number one contenders match between JX and Jason Storm. That's going to be a hell of a tale to see. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Go check out IMF because they were in ROEW. And
Yeah, a bunch of
you know
ROEW
what?
people are in IMF and crossover. They're almost
So,
like the same thing.
Soldier, you do got a good stunner. You just probably put a lot more force into your stunner than I do. But I just know how to deliver it. That's all. It's just a lot of respect. It's just a little trash talk. I know you understand that, kid. Never say
Yes, but
never,
definitely
right?
check out the IMF, because they're here tomorrow, and they have the whole roster here, so I'm very excited about that. We do it every month with them, and I'm donating 2 tickets to support the guys. So they had a great turnout the last show. I'm very excited about that. I'm excited for ROEW. Big Man Cam was here last Friday, and you're here, and I hear Jason Storm's coming back to Sportswire soon. By the way, to hate to break it to you.
I might have to pay him a visit.
And Justin Parsley's here Saturday night. You might want to pay him
I
a visit.
definitely need to pay him a visit. I
Yeah.
gave him an opportunity to come on here tonight if he wanted to
Oh.
chit chat, but obviously all he did was just
Well, he
do
wanted to
keyboard
come on
work.
actually, but it's like we're 2 hours into the show, and I'm starting to get a stomach ache now.
Oh yeah, you probably need to go. So okay.
I'm getting a stomach ache. Actually, it's time to eat soon. But let's definitely let me eat. But definitely for sure, we'll see everybody tomorrow and Saturday. Hopefully Sunday. By the way, Justin's here Sunday anyway. You'll be able to get plenty of chances to talk with him, because he'll be here Sunday night, and the whole world, at least I think, will be here Sunday.
All right.
I'll be shocked if not. But it is Sunday, by the way. But TikTok is weird. Yeah, they flag like backyard wrestling. You can't share anything like backyard wrestling related. But yeah, they're cool with the creepy people. But yeah, Facebook and TikTok have almost the same type of like algorithm in terms of what you share. Because like I said, like I said, I get paid on Facebook. But again, James, it's nowhere near what you get paid. But it's okay. I don't need it to that degree. But Facebook and TikTok have very similar algorithms in that sense. But Soldier says if you'd meet him in the ring, he'd show him.
I mean, I'd show you too, kid. Kid. You like it when I
Well,
say kid, right? You stupid little dreadlock. I'm just kidding. Calm down. Relax.
that's a
Tom,
joke.
the time I come up to New York, I need you to show me where I could get the best New York slice of pizza. Because
I
like
would show you. I would give you the key to the city. Well, I'll give you the key to a portion of my bank account. Well, we can go. We can have some pizza. We can have some other things you'd like to have. I do not recommend going to a hot dog cart, and I do recommend going
Thank
in.
you.
I recommend you having a nice day in New York with me, and I can't wait for that. And hopefully your other half would come as well, and
Oh yeah.
have a great time. I really look forward to that. I would hope anybody that's in the chat, by the way, that's here, would like to meet me in New York City. You're definitely welcome to it, especially anybody out there. I'm sure my lady friend can vouch for that as well.
If I get that opportunity and I show up, let me vlog a little bit of it. Let me vlog
Whatever you
that way
want.
we can
Listen,
share.
a couple of the British wrestlers met me. It was actually 2 British wrestlers that met me here. It was the LWF champion 2 years ago, Reynaldo, lost the title the next night, and I had Sheriff Steele, who was kind of like you, he's the commissioner of KOW. He wrestles in about 4 other promotions, and I met them. I met 2 wrestlers, and my one friend is a wrestler, but I know him. That doesn't count. But I met 2 British wrestlers who were on the show, and they came to New York, and I met them. So
Awesome.
So I don't see why not. Everybody's welcome. I can't wait. I can't. Everybody comes in, and yes, food on me. Food on me. We'll have a nice day on me. I can't wait. It'll be
Hell
an
yeah.
amazing experience. And if I ever come to New York City, yes, I have 2 friends that were stand-up comedians. My friend, actually, I'm gonna say this on the air so my lady friend can hear this too. Steven Stapperstein, who was my former employer, a man that ran for the city council and the state assembly. Probably one of the reasons he lost was because he was a stand-up comedian before he was a politician. Get it? The same thing, right? Stand-up comedy, politician, same thing almost.
Oh
But
yeah.
yes, he had a little bit of a hand in it, and he did some stand-up comedy in New York City for a little while. And then he met me, and then, well, the joke was on him because he fired me and he lost the election. But actually,
Damn.
I deserve to be fired. Well, we lost. He didn't really fire me. We just lost the election. When you lose the election, there's really no more job. But
Yeah.
it'll be fun. I'm sure Steven will make a few things to say, and it'll be fun to see him on Sunday show. Justin will be here Saturday night. He will be here with Jack Spade. He will be here Sunday night, and he'll be here tomorrow. So you're going to see a lot of Justin Parsley. You're going to see him 3 times in 4 days, James. It's a lot of Justin Parsley. It's a lot of Justin Parsley in 4 days.
That is a lot of Justin
That's
Parsley.
why it's okay. He'll be here tomorrow. He'll be here Saturday. He'll be here Sunday. Yeah, Chinatown is Wohop. Wohop is the place I went to years ago. You'd probably like Wohop. You definitely like Wohop.
Really?
Okay. Yes, it's off Mott Street in Manhattan. But people aren't going to know those terms. James, I'm going to say I can't wait to see you this weekend. I can't wait to watch more of those backyard wrestling matches you had back with Phoenix and everybody else. I can't wait to see what happens in ROEW coming up between Jason Storm and JX, that match to decide who will square up with Big Man Cam for the ROEW championship. We'll see what happens in BYW and whatever else. And thank you for all that you do for our circuit. Thank you for all that you do. And I think the next time you come on, I'm going to have to induct you into the Hall of Fame again, because I think it's time to induct you again for another appearance, because it'll drive Justin Parsley crazy. Actually, no, it'll probably be wanting to come on, but that's okay. We want him to come on then, and we'll watch some more matches, because you are technically, what are you, a 2-time or a 3-time Hall of Famer now? 2 times, right?
Just 2 times.
We're going to make it 3 times. Time to make it 3 times.
You didn't get me for the Taffy's Lounge yet.
Well, that's why I'm going to get you for the 3rd time. There you go. Thank you. That's why. There you go. That's the 3rd time. So he's ROEW in here. So that'll technically be 3 times. So we'll do that very soon. We'll see James this weekend. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, I'll see you tomorrow or today, New York time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, with your favorites from the IMF. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you again to everybody in Brooklyn. It was great to see you. Thank you for your support. I can't wait to see you here Sunday night with Angela Pink. And also follow ROEW Underground on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And I'll see everybody in good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the #1 global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all